Good morning, traders. I'm ready to get back into the hot seat. You know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Hats down. Let's get after it. Let's see what we can come up with today, guys. What's going on, traders? How we doing this morning? Who's ready to get back into the trading seat? Of course, we're ready to get after the day. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead. Let's start it off here. Of course, we get into the playbook action of things. And today we have a downgrade in the space where things have been hot. But now a turnaround has come in here as we get CrowdStrike that comes in with a downgrade today. And you guys can see the action already on CrowdStrike. Let me go ahead and get my trade ideas kind of scanners up here. There's the pre-market scanners. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look here at CrowdStrike to see if we get continued downside action here. Of course, the downside coming in, and it's not looking the best as you got this report. But the timing of this is important because right before this, we were looking at this starting to make a move, right? And so I think we got to keep an eye on this. Is a Piper Sandler downgrade to neutral, maintaining a 400 price point, but definitely going to affect what's going on right now. You can see PanW was making a move, trying to fill the gap. We've talked about this. So I think now on the day trade side of things, this looks like it could turn right back to the downside and then get a nice little pullback. So we'll see what happens right now. You're seeing PanW already start to get a cut. Zscaler also turning around after a hot day. So do I think these stocks are going to make a major breakdown on the daily charts? No, but the pullbacks make sense in the timing sense, right? So 3 days of push, maybe we get that pullback back to the 90 EMA. Would I be thinking this goes back down to 180? No, but I could play just the daily momentum for a kind of a push back towards prior resistance, trying to create it as prior support. 193 for Zscaler and others. CrowdStrike was probably going to be the one that could come down. Also Snow. Snow is one that's been hot and was actually starting to get some good mentions out there. And now I think that it could come back towards this 134. So you're at 141. That still leaves what? $6 on the downside, right? So there's ways to make money even as the stock is rising. There's ways to play the intraday short just for like, especially the opening action, getting that short on, taking some profits, and then of course understanding that these stocks could come back because the fundamentals aren't really bad. It's just more along when you come in and you turn things around, the contrarian rating we're talking about here. This is our important to catch when the stock's rising and then they put like a sell or a neutral. In this case, it kind of slows it down or turns it around. So we'll see what happens with this one. This is on Snow. What do you guys think about these actions? You guys let me know about Snow, PanW. I know that Noli out there has been looking at these. We'll have to take a look at it, but PanW up there to 338s. Can it just hold that, or will it come back for the 300? Something that I'll keep an eye on. All right, another play, of course, Chewy is going to be on the radar again, guys. As it's pulled back here, but it hasn't really made that second move. And I think this is important because GameStop did a very similar move where it was kind of like what news came out, got a big pop, then came back down. Then you heard about the passive stake. Then eventually you got another run. So I'm wondering if Chewy ever gets that next run. But for me personally, of course, you guys know I've already given up a little bit towards this name. So what do I need to do? I need to wait to see it actually make the move. For right now, that's going to be a move back above, let's say, the 27, 28s. And we're at 25 right now. So we need to see this really kind of wake up and start to push towards the highs. 30 is going to be the most important level to kind of actually cut through. And you never know. We could be right back up there. So I'm just going to keep this on the radar. For right now, it's a sideways leak, but we'll see what happens out the gate. Something tells me that Chewy might get going. All right, guys, how we doing out there? It's good to see you guys. Good morning, future day trader. Jane Smith in the house. Diego, X Air. We'll take a look at it. Hot spot. Where's the hot spot this morning, man? Let me know. What are you guys taking a look at? And of course, we got a little boogie woogie in the house. Never going to get after it. Never going to leave. Never going to get. Hey, Boogie, when you going to come on with us, man? I want to have you on, Boogie. We got to get Boogie down. We got to hear some blues, man. I'll tell you what, I've been playing blues for my kids, and it's always fun to listen to a little blues. I love all types of music, from reggae to blues to classical rock to rap to even some reggaeton for my Spanish people. I mean, hey, a lot of music in my life. X Air, that's an interesting one. Let me just take a peek at that. Of course, that's Beyond Air, has been down big, and you guys can see it down to 61 cents. We'll look to see if this one starts to make a move. And then let's take a look into the Sunrise report. We still got a lot to talk about there. We'll take a look here. First up on the Sunrise reports, we're going to talk about that July, of course, marks the start of the NASDAQ's worst 4 months of the year. NASDAQ yesterday actually kind of pulling back, but look how it came back towards the end of the day. So this just shows me more and more that you got to be careful, guys. So we're going to have these kind of sweeps downs where shorts start to get too excited. And then by the time at the market day ends, we're already back up. We need to see a really big breakdown, and we haven't yet seen that. So for the bearish action, I think you got to wait and start to see really a big break coming back towards like 460s on the Qs. But that's how it is with the shorting style of things. It's going to move up and down. DTSS, I'm seeing one on the scanners that we were just talking about yesterday. It was up there towards 8. This thing's back down to $3. So just be careful with these smaller names, guys. This is exactly how you can get wrecked in a name like DTSS, man. That thing's already back down to 330s this morning. Let's go to NIO this morning as they did deliveries, and we're getting different news coming out of China EVs. China EVs have been really kind of destroyed this year. And it just goes to show you that the EV trade overall has had a rough environment in 2024, Tesla included, right? Tesla's coming back, but it has had a tough 24 to begin with. XPEV, another one, right? Lagged behind with 52,000 total deliveries in the first half. NIO had 21,000 in June. So one thing to note, though, is the total for the first 6 months was at 87,000 for NIO. But the best one has to be LI Auto, at least for the time being, right? This is holding in around the 19s, trying to turn things around. If you take a look at their deliveries, they delivered 188,981 vehicles. So in the first 6 months of the year. So this just shows me that if there's anyone that I probably want to bet on, I'd probably want to bet on LI, at least for me. Why? Not only is it doing the deliveries, but this is the one that also has exposure to the government itself. So the government has stakes in this company. So I would definitely keep an eye out for this one. This is LI Auto. We'll see what happens. Diego, I'll take a look to see if there's any news on XAir just in a second, but definitely something to kind of keep your eyes open for. As we get to the market open today, we got to keep watch as at 9:30, right at 9:30, Jerome Powell will start to speak at a conference. This is at the European Central Bank Forum, and he doesn't have prepared remarks. And I think that's an important outlook, because without the prepared remarks, he could get questions that he could give answers to that could surprise the market and all of a sudden affect the market open. And especially it being at 9:30, it's already volatility. So we have to keep our eyes open to see what happens there. I will try to keep eyes open for any remarks that come out. If you guys catch something, hit that thumbs up and let me know, of course. Let's keep going, guys. Let's see what else is out there. Woohoo! Look at VSync out there. We'll take a little look out there. Last real day this week, unless the hedgies have already checked out. And I think you're saying it, man. The hedgies probably have checked out, man. This is the week where if you're a big time trader, you probably just take the week off and get some vacation time, but we'll see what happens. It's also a really hot time. Of course, I've talked about it with the Stock Traders Almanac. I'm going to be bringing more and more statistics for you guys to have some value. Like always, guys, I try to bring you guys back, whether it be strategy, whether it be information, whether it be statistics, guys, like the Stock Trader Almanac. That's why I talked about the NASDAQ and having the worst 4 months coming up. But also the first day was a lot of the times positive. And we talked about it here, how when we left the stream, things were red and things turned around. All right, let's keep going, guys. Of course, we also get the May job opening today, so that we get JOLTS to come in. JOLTS will be coming in at 10 a.m. So keep your eyes open for economic data, whether it be some talk from the Fed talk, or it could be these JOLTS numbers that are coming at 10 a.m. The number of job openings are said to have fallen to 7.9 million from 8.1 million in April. So if for some reason there's more job openings, that's something to catch. We've been seeing the weakening economy numbers, but it hasn't yet affected really the market. The market has just been euphoric and shaking it all off. Just take that economic data where you want it, man. And we don't need it. But that's something definitely to keep an eyes open for. I'll be watching to see what happens. Let's get that money. Jonathan Ruber in the house. What's up, Jonathan? It's good to see you, my friend. Hey, I think I've seen you out on Twitter before, man. So shout out to you. Thumbs up. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's see what we can find today. Also, Paramount. Also in the news this morning, as more talks are exploring the merger of Paramount Plus, Warner Brothers, which is, of course, WBD, and trying to do a joint venture with Max and Paramount Plus as the media companies seek to better monetize their streaming content amid losses, right? And so one thing that I would say with this is that we need to keep a watch on these companies because they could get a lift off of this. And this is how I see streaming moving in the future, right? What we're going to be having is we're going to be having some big players trying to compete against what? Netflix, kind of compete against Disney. But if they can combine forces, WBD, Paramount, right? And Max, HBO, that is a great service for me. I've used both. I have Paramount right now that I get because I have Walmart Plus. And then I also have used Max Plus, right? Or the Discovery. Before I've used Discovery itself as a streaming service, and I had Max. So the combination of those three, as long as the price doesn't go through the roof, let's say stay within Netflix price range, $15 to $20 a month, I think that is a great service that could get a nice big boost as you see people like me and consumers like me that are like, well, I can get something that has majority of what I watch, right? The Discovery has so many things underneath their belt. Paramount already has a lot of the sporting action that a lot of people would want. And then you give them access to HBO for some great movies and things that come out like that. That's not a bad service. All right, guys, let's see if we can get that money today, but definitely that one's something to watch. This morning, I did see another one that was making a move, and this was a bankruptcy move, but something to look at. Chicken Soup for Soul Entertainment was up there, but this is going out of bankruptcy, guys. It just goes to show you that maybe you don't buy kind of aging technology here being Redbox as they went and jumped after Redbox. This company owes nearly $1 billion to creditors like Sony. It owns to Warner Brothers that we just talked about, Walgreens, Boots Alliance, and Walmart. And it isn't looking like things are going to be turning around. Of course, Redbox was not an acquisition to maybe go after, as DVD players are pretty much extinct. No one's watching movies on kind of disc anymore. That just doesn't work, guys. Maybe some Blu-rays from time to time just for the quality aspect, but when you can stream 4K, it's not worth it. All right, so we talked about the downgrades and CrowdStrike. That's definitely one to kind of keep an eyes open. But let's go ahead. Let's just get to the market. Let's get to some trading action. Let's see what I can come up with today, guys. I want to take a look into the scanners. We'll go to the Gap scanner right now and take a look at some of these names. But let's go to XAir first. I know my man wants to take a look at that, wants to see what we can find on that. So today, you know what? Let's bring in a little Benzinga Pro. Let's talk a little bit about what that could be and what the move is. XAir, of course, we can take a look at it here. Beyond Air, what news is out there, right? What's going on with this? Well, as of late in June 25th, we did get some downgrades in here that were coming in, but it did get a raise of price target by Jefferies. If we take a look here, there's not much that I'm seeing actually out right now. And so that's one thing that I would note is being like, why is this company up? I don't see much on why this company is up, but to each his own, right? It might not have a catalyst right now. It might be working to get that catalyst. But for me, I need to see something. I'll go for a home run in it today. XAir and PRST had a lot of orders of 0.08. What do you think about that? I mean, yeah, I mean, it could be kind of one of those things where you're definitely getting kind of the overhead supply and you're seeing that liquidity pool back towards the 80 cents. We'll see if it gets back up there. I mean, definitely you have this kind of inverse head and shoulders look off this bottoming action. But the problem is it's not as clean as it looks, right? I would probably want it to be like a look like this where there was a down action here. But I mean, you could call this the left shoulder. You can call this the right shoulder. Wouldn't want to see that break. Need to get it back through that level. Wouldn't want to see 59 break. Want to go start pushing through and getting up there towards right here, the 63 and taking out the 65. That could start pushing us back to layers of resistance. So the first layer would be the 67. Then I'd see around the 70s. And then you can start getting up there towards your 80 spots. So you know your reward targets on the upside. They're right above. Now the only question is, can this get the volume to actually move? It did get some volume towards the close yesterday. So look at that closing price, 63. That's going to be the layer that I'd be watching for us to get above and start making a move. All right, you can have my plastic discs when you pry them from my cold, dead hands. What is going on out there? All right, let me see what else is out there. Noli, good morning, man. Late on the desk. Let's see if there's something good. Yeah, Noli, there is a downgrade in CrowdStrike that I think you'd pay attention to. It's to neutral, but could get those stocks like Snow and PanW to maybe have a little bit of a pullback. Let's go to the scanners here and see what we can find. VS with a nice little move this morning has continued going since the 7 a.m., right? It did do a nice little boost at 240s, now holding the pullbacks right now. We'll look to see if this can hold the $2 spot. We have seen stocks do this, though, in the pre-market, especially yesterday, and then start coming right back down. $3, $2 is an important spot for comebacks to see this hold. We'll see if it actually can get to that $2 spot right now, holding around the 225, and that is VS here, guys. So I don't know this one. It's a software application name. So let's see what happens on that. RDZN, Roadzen, another software application name, getting a little bit of a lift this morning. Pulling back though, right? These don't look that hot, man. That's one thing that we've noticed. So we've had a lot of these penny names that were, or small cap names that were making the big lifts and now are starting to come down. MLGO is starting to come down. We're just not seeing that hold, that same kind of drive that we were seeing for a little bit. So you got to be careful with names like that. Core also back up after a split, right? This stock had a split, and that's a big reason why it's jumping. It's back down to $2 right now, as it was in pre-market, up there to $2.69. Doesn't look like a bad one to maybe play for just a quick momentum type of play here. But we'll see what happens. Let me see how the market depth here looks. You can see that there's some market depth towards 355 on the upside. Definitely a trader out there trying to get into that. But we'll see if this can hold the $2 on the pullback. It already kind of held that 199 pullback, came down towards 190. Now could take that next step up. Doesn't look too bad. 5 minutes could hold another little click down towards 196 and then really start to move. I'll keep this on watch. It's nothing that really looks that sexy. But at the end of the day, it did have that split, and we have seen some of those split stocks make a nice lift, and that's KORE. VLN. Yeah, we'll take a look for Tesla's numbers out before the bell. They should come out here. I'll try to catch it any moment. Of course, we'll use Benzinga Pro. We'll try to catch that on Tesla to see when they come out here. Let me take a look to see if I have anything just yet. I don't think I do, but I'll take a peek right now. Yeah, I'm looking around to see when they come out here. Yeah, nothing just yet, man. BYD's EVs came out, but I'm looking to see what happens with Tesla's numbers as those come out. And I think you could see a little bit of a pullback opportunity off of this, right? Because we're up there towards the 210. We got above the gap spot here. So now I'm looking for pullbacks back towards 200 and 197 to join the party on the swing side of things. But for the day trade, I do feel like this could pull back, especially closer towards that 200. And of course, this could come fast off the number. We'll see what happens there in Tesla. VLCN is another one, Volcom, that's been trying to make a move. This is an auto manufacturer. that has been trying to make the move back up, but it doesn't look that great right now. It is trying to make that move above 6. I don't know if it's going to be able to make that move today and start to make that move through 6. But can we keep this one on the radar? Yes, it's only traded 1 million shares yesterday. Keep your eyes. That 6 is going to be important. Could just be a pop above 6 and then start to fade. We'll see if we can actually get this one to make a big move. I don't even know a Volcom vehicle, so I have to maybe even look up what this vehicle does or what it looks like. You guys let me know. Have you guys seen a Volcom vehicle? I mean, let's take a look. Let's see if I can find anything. Volcom EV. Let's see. Oh, looks like there's some EV bikes and some power sports things here. Let's take a look here. You guys can see it here. I'll show you guys it. So it looks like they make electric vehicles. Ooh, this actually doesn't look too bad. Is that like a little electric bike? I wouldn't mind driving that thing. That looks fun. All right, so that's that Grunt Evo or the Volcon Brat. These actually look pretty cool, man. I'm gonna have to take a look at these. Definitely an EV power sport vehicle. You know, that look like they're out of Texas. Is that to be right? Yeah, doesn't look too bad, guys. Let me know. What do you guys think about these? Throw them up in the chat. You guys ready to ride on one of these things? I'm ready, but oof, $6,000 price tag. Man, that's an expensive bike, man. We'll see what happens with this, man. But definitely, it's pretty expensive, man. Order processing 1 to 2 days. Okay. Has a single or dual battery version, so it looks like you can soup it up to the next version. Oh, it's just goes up to $8,000. That's all I need. It's a pretty expensive electric bike there, but that's how it goes, team. What do you guys think about the electric bike? You guys ready to ride on them? Jane says they look pretty cool to me. I mean, they do look pretty cool, but just pretty expensive, man. All right, let's keep going, guys. The platform not working for you, future day trade, let me know, man. I definitely was able to get my platform up. I always close it overnight, so maybe just close it, reopen it. Sometimes that can help, right? But just make sure that you have everything going this morning. We'll see what happens with that EV bike stock. Can it make the move above 6? It's trying to make the move right now. Could do it in the pre-market and then kind of fail there. We'll see what happens. Holding the 575s right now. Could make that push to 6. Let me see how the kind of the market depth looks here on this stock right now. If we're seeing trading, I'm seeing a good amount there, 400 and about 1,000 shares there at a 6, but not too much on the bid side. 550s seeming to stand out there. We'll look to see if it makes that run to 6. All right, let's keep going. Let's work through this. If you guys have a stock you guys want to take a look at, we'll definitely take a peek there. Doug, D-O-G, real estate company, trying to make a move above the 150 spot. We'll see if this can keep moving. And what happened to Wheeler? Wheeler Real Estate, man. This stock has been the ultimate, like, just boom and bust type of stock, man. It did do a split right at the right time. It has been trying to hold in on this pullback. The spread is just insane on this stock because the liquidity is very small. But we'll see if this actually makes a move today. Gets back above the 18, going towards the 20s. Could make a run on this stock. If I did play this, guys, I'll tell you one thing. It would be a quick in and quick out. All right. They had to put an Apple sign in it and could be a raise the price. Yeah. We'll see what happens there, man. Peloton. What about Peloton? Is that ever going to come back, man? Peloton is just, it's a disaster stock, man. All right, let's keep going, team. Let's see what else is happening. Yesterday, Mara was a big move there, guys. And what a shake. What a shake, guys, because I was playing this multiple times in the 19 for the 20 breakout. I played it multiple times even last week for that break. And then look what happens. Now you're getting the move here, guys. We just got a nice little break to the upside, right? So Clean Spark is another way to look for a continued breakout. So if the stocks are going to continue and the miners are just going to lift, I'm looking at Clean Spark also to lift. I've talked about this both ways. But I thought that at this point, seeing that rumors about the bankruptcy and selling could happen, that this could be kind of more of that takedown approach. So now that we're starting to get this lift, we really want to see it close on the week above, let's say 18, going towards the 20 for the breakout is something definitely to watch on these. You can look at HUT. HUT's been one of the hot ones as of late and has been pushing. It's up there to $15, guys. So if there's one that's had a continued trend, it's HUT. We can take a look at some other ones to see if they get going, like Hive. Hive is one that I'd keep an eye out for. You got, was it CIFR? Yeah, Cipher Mining. That's another one that I kind of keep a watch for. And the reason why I like this one is because it did do a nice little pullback. But if you look at the daily chart, it's kind of just been hanging in there, trying to make the next step up back through 5. We'll look to see if we get that move today. CIFR already kind of holding in this morning. Let's see if it pushes back above that 475 and makes a run to 5. All right, guys, let's keep it going. Look, getting some questions even on the Facebook side of things. Thank you, Dinesh. Let's take a look there. NVIDIA, let's go talk about it, NVIDIA. I've talked about it. The big level for me on NVIDIA is 125. Before I even take a look at it, right? Look at it right there, guys. Look at that rejection from 125 yesterday. So in that level, if it reclaims 125, that's to me the upside move back to the upside. But right now, it makes sense for me to see this retrace back towards 111 and 100. Why? Because it would give the opportunity for dip buyers to come in after that kind of decline, but also giving it the ability to see rotation go away to the other top names. Rotation going into Apple, rotation going into Google, rotation going into Amazon. Look at the amount of volume that's going into Amazon right now. So 200 is in play, even in play today. Yesterday, it comes down. It comes right back up, guys. It wants 200. The only question is, when will it get that 200 right now? For me, it's kind of just a matter of time. So that's one thing that I keep a watch on is Amazon trying to make that lift. With that one being mentioned, we'll also watch to see if Shopify comes back. That stopped me out yesterday, but could come back ramping today and then go up there towards 68. You can always get a breakout. But for NVIDIA, that's the thing for me to watch, guys. Will this turn back to the downside and kind of continue to break down, and some of the bigger names continue to make an up move? TSM is one that I'm wondering, will it follow NVIDIA or will it make another breakout? Let's say maybe get this one to 200, right? I mean, it is in reach. It's already made a big move already. We'll see what happens on TSM. You can keep your watch on AMD also. AMD made a nasty pullback yesterday after really looking like on Friday we were looking for 170. So be careful out there, traders, especially with AMD. AMD just seems like it's just been a trappy stock. I tried to play it and felt that I had really good entry, and I did, but that didn't even matter. Yesterday, AMD with a big wipeout back to the downside. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. Smash the like, guys. Let me know what stock you guys are looking to trade. Anything that you guys want to check out, we can go ahead and take a look at it here on the stream. Hit that like button. A lot of you guys tuning in also on Twitter. Let me know, what are you guys trading today? You guys can click on the video and actually get into the comments and let me know what's on your radar. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at some other ones. WENA, that one was making a little bit of a bounce back. Nothing strong there. Looking at the scanners here to see if anything else stands out to me. Of course, GovX has been one that we've traded in the past. Let's take a look at that one. GovX here was up there to 350s, but now we're starting to find a lot of resistance, right? And this stock did do a stock split right around these levels. The stock split was on the 31st. So on 131st, you had the stock split there, and it opened at 371. So that 371 is going to be an important level to see if you can get back above. If you fail that 370 move, you could start working your way back to $3. Above that 371, that could be the breakout today. I'll continue to watch that. You guys can see it here on kind of the 15-minute chart, how there's kind of a trend line that kind of pushes right towards that. Right above it, 370, 371. Let's see if it can clear that, go to 4. A fail of that could get this down back towards the 250 area. Lily finally giving up, and there she goes. Lily with a down hit there. Let's see what's going on. This definitely looks news related in Eli Lilly, as Eli Lilly is trading lower after Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders call on the company and Noto Norvis to lower drug prices. Wow, that is definitely of a shakeup. That's going to go ahead and affect different names. And also, you can look at kind of the ETFs right here to see how those get affected, right? XLV is going to be your healthcare, and you can see how that's already taking a hit there. And yesterday, it was already taking a hit. It's almost like if someone knew it. And XLV. So healthcare definitely to the downside. That's going to be something to keep a watch. NVO also taking a hit off of this. And this was actually pushing towards new highs and continuing to push. So some bulls will get caught on this. Now the only question is, how do I catch the bounce, right? So Eli Lilly puts in a hard top, right? Hard top all with that candle at 914. I'd be looking for moves back here towards, let's say, 904 to try to join the party because it could bounce wicked right back up here and then get the takedown. I don't want to chase it right here, but as you can see, trading lower after Biden and Bernie Sanders come in and kind of ruin the party here, talking about that they need to lower drug prices. I mean, really, at the end of the day, these companies are not going to lower drug prices just because the president mentions it. They're trying to make money, and that's just what these companies do. Now, can they step in and try to maybe adjust some things? Yeah, they could try to push on them. But right now, they are definitely taking a hit off of this. And this is going to definitely shake up the bulls that were in these names. Now, the only question is, can we get a bounce back there towards 905 to look for some more collapse in the drug names? And you can take a look at the major names and take a look at the leaders, right? You got Eli Lilly, Johnson & Johnson's actually going up off of this news. Merck, not holding in there, but could come right back down. And keep an eye on certain stocks that have kind of lifted and it could start to break down like this AbbVie. AbbVie hasn't broken down this morning off of this news, but definitely one that I could keep on the radar for a short today, especially through that 168. Not a bad one to watch. AZN, very similar, right? Has a big move, has made a couple of drives. Now a quick turnaround back down through prior resistance. Now the next layer is going to be, could it come back down into this spot, start working its way to 75 and start maybe even filling the gap here that it made a big boost. So that's what I'd keep an eye out. And that's how quickly news can come in and shake you, man. That's how easy it can happen, guys. So there's some news definitely shaking things up. Tesla reported news. Let's go get it, guys. Look at that, guys. Looked like I was wrong on the Tesla deliveries. But boy, oh boy, it's almost up to the gap spot already on the trend line. Look at this, guys. We were drawing this for the swing trade action back at 180s. Now we're already rising up. It's been up 16, 17% from that, going towards that box here that I've drawn. And when I get to that trend line, I think we can start to turn back to the downside. But man, what a quick pickup on Tesla. I hope somebody out there was able to find the trade based on the playbook that we put out just last week, Monday, Tesla being the top swing trade to look for, and look at that action this morning as we're getting delivery figures. Let me go ahead and pull this up here as you got Q3 production of 576 deliveries. Production 386,576, deliveries 422,405. So definitely getting a nice little lift higher here. We'll see what happens with that. But man, what a boom there in Tesla. Not giving the pullback, if anything, the rip higher. And we just showed this yesterday on our Twitter. Guys, if you guys aren't following our Twitter, definitely give us a follow. Take a look here, guys. I'll show you guys it right from our Twitter. Look at this, guys. We just put this out just recently. Look at this. We were talking about, hey, Tesla filled the gap today. Now the long-term trend line in play for the bulls. Look at that. That was back when it was at what? Just back there, guys. And look at that now. What a move, man. What a move up there towards that trend line. So I do think that you're going to see some profit takers in the next kind of 6 points or something up there towards 226, 230s. But man, what a move there in Tesla. I hope somebody was able to nail this trade. And this is one that I messed up on this one. I should have kept it right there on the swing. But hey, you're not always going to get it right. One thing that's for certain though, at least we put the play out there. And I hope that some traders were out there able to make this decision of longing Tesla. especially as we get closer to the robotics day. I think this is going to be more of a buy the rumor, sell the news event. So now that we're already getting this lift, we already got the buy the rumor. Now we got to be looking for that sell the news event. But hey, big move up there, and Tesla continuing to drive higher. All right, let's see what else is out there. Man, what a move there in Tesla. Way to keep it up there. Anytime Elon tells people off, I buy more. Yeah, damn, Tesla 220 more. You see it, man. You see it. This is what it's all about, man. And this is why I think you'll see the shake in the Qs, where the Qs can continue going higher. Why? Because the truth is, at the end of the day, the Qs can keep going higher if there's rotation from the top. So if Apple keeps doing well, if Microsoft keeps doing well, if Google keeps doing well, names like that, I think you'll continue to see this lift. So now that Tesla continues to push, NVIDIA can pull back, and it can continue to pull back, just like AMD can pull back, and you could still have the Qs higher. I'm repeating this because I feel like this is a clear trend that's standing out to me. Now the question is, do you guys see it? Let me know. All right, guys, let's keep going, guys. It's 9:09. What a move there. What a shakeup there, man. VS starting to pull back towards that $2 spot, not being able to hold it on the penny names, but big move there in news in Tesla, news in Eli Lilly, and we'll see if these can continue to come down here. I'm looking at some other ones in that space to see if they want to start breaking. But drug manufacturers, definitely something that's going to be on the radar today to see if we get continued downside action. AbbVie is another one that I'm taking a look at because it just had a nice little rocket move. So a lot of traders were probably trying to buy this on the pullback. Now it starts to break the 9 EMA. Now could really cut 168, start working its way back. We'll see what happens there on AbbVie if it starts to break down. NVS, another one to kind of keep an eye out that has been kind of giving a nice little move to the upside and now has a little bit of a gap move that it can fill on the downside back towards 105. So keep this one on the radar. Right now, it's already dropping here in the pre-market. I might actually take this trade here in the pre-market. This one doesn't look too bad on NVS. The big thing is when it went down to 105 and now it's back above the 106 spot. So let me see if I can go ahead and take a trade on this just in here in the pre-market. And then I can look to see if we get some more downside action here. Let me see if I get the fill here. Want to risk about, let's risk about 20 bucks here towards the 106.60. I can do about 100 shares and just to see if we get this nice little takedown back here towards this 105.93s. Could be a nice little takedown on the day. About 100 shares is where I'd have to start it up here and then see if we get that continued breakdown. Let's see if we can get it already. Trying to get here 32s. Boom. All right, guys, this took a little bit of a trade there. Going to continue to watch to see what happens. It does have a different type of spread. Just want to see what happens there. It's at 1032s right now on the entry. We'll watch to see if this comes right back down. Really going to look to see that it doesn't go back above this kind of 1058 level. So taking a little bit of a trade right here, looking for the downside action. So looking as this popped back, it tried to go up, tried to go up, tried to go up. Now I'm going to look for this to come right back down and actually break through that low. So a break of that low would be a really nice level. I'm going to go ahead and draw a level there. That's 105.93s. Looking for a quick cut down throughout the gates for NVS. All right, guys, taking some trades action out there. And like always, guys, we'll see what happens. But taking a shot, guys. Beware of the raising prices in gold as Powell speak. Yeah, Powell is going to be interesting. He's going to be right there at 930. So this is going to move all around, guys. And so be careful out there. A lot of action going to happen today, especially out the gates. And we're getting that news, right? How Tesla moved now. Got up there to the 220s, continuing to move. We'll look to see if this pushes through that new high. But Tesla moving like that is something to keep an eye out for, especially. We'll see what happens there. NVS already starting to come down a little bit there, guys. So a little part of me feels like stepping up to the plate and adding on this. But since I'm not at the open, I'm just going to wait for a second here. If I can get that quick flush at the open, I'll look for kind of pushes back to add and take a bigger swing. 100 shares isn't the biggest swing, but at least it gets me a nice entry where if this does do a nice little wipeout to the downside move, comes back here towards 105.45s, it won't be a bad little $100. We'll see what happens there on MVS. Willing to take the trade and looking for a little bounce to add into the trade. All right, let's see what else is out there, team. Looking around to see if there's anything mentioned in the chat. Not much there. ZN mentioned a little earlier, and I took a look at that one. The Road Zen. We'll see what happens on that one. Already on the pullback there towards the 230 levels. So there's a support here where it could get some buyers as you come back here to the 227 spot. We'll look to see if that happens and it actually gets a bounce. Right now, a couple of highs in this area. It's tried to get through the $3 spot before and has failed it. Let's see if it makes another run to 3. That's something that I keep an eye open for. All right, what other ones are being mentioned here? $100 is $100. Yeah, man, it definitely will pay. And I think that that's the important thing is sometimes just stacking up the wins. Palantir has been my best swing trade. Let's talk a little bit about the swing trade sides of things. Palantir is still working for me. I'm looking for this to continue to get the uplift. Looking for a nice little breakout towards 27 and 29. This could be a similar move like the Tesla and then eventually really start get going. So I'm looking for a bigger move on this one for Palantir. All right. I also got XLE to the long side on the swing trade side of things. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at that action so you can see the positions there. I'll put them up right here in the bottom right. You guys can see that. XLE up a decent amount, Walmart up, and Palantir up big. So let's take a look to see if XLE can really start making that move today. It's already making the move to 91.90. So now we're finally getting that energy move to kind of follow. So I'll keep watch to see what happens on Gush to see if it can work its way back. PSX cost me a good amount yesterday, but look how it's already back to 142. So these energy names have a tendency of doing what? 1 hour pullbacks. 1 hour pullbacks where it makes the break through the high, comes all the way back to the hourly low, undercuts it like it did yesterday, and it's right back up to the high. So this has happened before. You can see the trend right here. You break the high, you come back to the low, you undercut it and recover. You break the high, you undercut it and recover. You break the high, you undercut it and recover. It's a repeated trend. We need to look for that trend. We need to look for hourly pullbacks. That's what I'm going to be looking for in energy. Hourly pullbacks for today would be a closer look towards that 141 or 140.70s. We'll look to see if we make another push towards 143s and then can look for similar 1 hour pullbacks on these names. Not a bad outlook to look at. XLE already going towards 92s. I have there 91.13 with 60 shares. So not looking too bad this morning on the swing trade side of things. Just got to keep getting after it, guys. So energy, definitely one that I'll be watching for a real attempt to break out, right? So we're getting this set up. Now we got to look to see if we get that real breakout. You can take a look at any of these names, right? Like Oxy, bunching up, bunching up, bunching up. Hourly pullbacks, right? Seem to make sense. We just talked about that with energy names. Well, look at this. You can see it here on the trend line. The hourly pullbacks to that trend line seem to be working really well. So it just recently went to 62.50s. Now it's trying to make that next attempt to come back through the highs through 63.40s and break towards 64. We'll look to see what happens. In the pre-market, you got a quick wick down to 62.80s, now recovering 63. We'll see if Oxy can really get going. PayPal, let's take a look at that one. PayPal, man, this is a falling knife if I've ever seen any. This company went from bliss to piss, as they sometimes say, guys. But PayPal trying to turn things around at the 58 and 60s. I just don't like it because there's not much I can see pattern-wise. But hey, maybe you see something that I don't. What are you seeing out there, Noli, that makes you interested in PayPal? Is it maybe like a monthly inverse head and shoulders? Maybe you can see that, but nothing that I like right now. Yes, Boogie Woogie. That's a funny one right there. From bliss to piss. Yeah, that's literally what it is, man. It's bliss to piss, like Peloton, right? This was the best stock ever. Now it's the worst stock ever. That's how it happens, team. It's crazy sometimes. Wisdom, yes, it can if you're stuck in the woods somewhere, but I'm not going in the woods with you, Wisdom. Let's keep going, guys. Let's see what we can come up with. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Let me know who's taking the swing evaluation, who's on the day trade side of things. How's your evals going? It's always good to hear from you guys. All right, so will technology continue to just rise and rise? Yesterday, we can just continue to see shift in that. Solar, though, definitely on the downturn. Definitely on the downturn. So like First Solar, Another down day yesterday. Really didn't break down, so watch out for that low to see if it holds. But ENPH was another one that I was looking to see if it fall, and it just kind of just continued leaking yesterday. We'll look to see if these continue to leak out. And there was a smaller name that was trying to make a move that just kind of really kind of ran into a wall too. CSLR. We were looking at it up here at $2. It's right back down to 135. So that just goes to show you guys the penny stocks have not been holding their gains. So I got to be careful with those penny names. If anything, looking for a short maybe. All right, Noli, look, just a pop from 58 to 70 needs only 60. Hey, not a bad one there. Diego, what's up out there, man? What are you looking at? All right, let's see some other names here mentioned. I'm looking at Hood this morning. I have a couple of different charts that I can take a look at and a couple of different setups, right? I'm going to keep trying to show you guys different chart outlooks, different charts that I can show you, different setups. Walmart. Let's take a look at Walmart. Of course, I'm looking for these discount stores to keep crashing. We finally get out of the channel on Walmart, so I'm feeling confident about that. You can see here, nice looking breakdown candle, right? So now you're starting to break up below that. Now I wouldn't want to see what 68 recovery. So back through 68 gets me out of Walmart. I'm looking for a takedown of this number here, the 66.55. That could be a nice little breakdown coming back here. So this is really where the red starts to leak and things really look bad for the bulls. So I'll draw that in red. I want to see that start to come back here towards this 65. That's kind of like the top goal right now is to come into the 65. I do think that it could eventually fill this gap, but that's a bigger trade. That's maybe taking some profit there and looking to see if it comes back into this box. But for right now, this seems to make sense for me on the come down here. So another thing is looking at Costco. Costco was one that I was looking at yesterday for the short, and man, I wasn't able to get this one at the VWAP, but it doesn't look too bad there, back towards 846 and 848. So a push to 848 today, 850s could be a nice little fade back down on Costco. Was also taking a look at different discount stores. Dollar General is one that showed up to me that could start to come back down. Got to keep an eye out on these discount stores, but there's a couple of these that could really start to break, right? We got some other ones here that I can take a look at. Just rolling through them. BJ's Wholesale. This one making a kind of big move, now starting to break. So these just don't look that strong anymore. And they look like they're starting to break down. Could get back into this gap zone right below it. There's some nice little kind of wick action there that I could see it going back to the 85. We'll see what happens there in BJ. All right, let's go towards the other ones that I was looking at yesterday on. One of my top shorts that I wanted to get yesterday, was able to make a gain on this one, but not as big as a gain as I was looking for. We'll look for continued takedown. Looking to see what happens with Nike. Will Nike bounce back or will it continue to break down? We'll watch to see what happens on that one. Skechers was another one looking for a short yesterday. And boy, oh boy, look at this. This was a really nice one. It came down, broke that 69, broke from that 69. And I remember even putting out a short at 69, but the stock was already at 68.80s. And I looked for a little bounce. I didn't get filled at the 69. And instead, this stock just leaked all the way down all day, about $1.42. So this would have been a big win there on Skechers. They gave us the insight from Nike. I'm going to look for that continued breakdown. It could bounce back. The bounce back level is even 69 on the up end. But if you take down the low here, 66.70s, you could get back towards the 65 and the gap right here of 60s. So this is definitely one that I'll keep on the radar. Damn Costco. We'll see what happens on Costco if it starts to really continue to break down. But this has been a high flyer that could start to break down a little bit. XLE continuing to drive. Let's see if it gets through that 92, even in the pre-market. What does that tell me? That tells me to take a look at WTI to see if we're back up on crude. Let's take a look at that. What do you guys see? I love when I see things like this, guys. You know why? Because this just goes to show you, you got to be careful with the shake, right? We tried plenty of times to kind of show you guys my Twitter action and, of course, from our playbook. Let's take a look at yesterday's playbook and what did it say, right? And so yesterday's playbook, I put it out. Today's strategy, looking for oil moves, right? You guys can see it here. This was July 1st, 8 a.m. What did I talk about? Well, I talked about how last year's crude run started around the 3rd, around the 69, and peaked towards 93. Now WTI was just over 82 on Monday, and I was looking for a run to 85 this week. That could show me the conviction that, yeah, these oil names are getting the lift and can continue to run. Well, this morning, I don't even have to look far, and I can see it already. Look at this, guys. Crude at 84.22. We can see this to start trying to push, and that's the kind of push that could really get this to the next layer. You see it 84.20s this morning, already making a little lift from the 4 a.m. So now already getting that push. I'm feeling confident that we could get another little breakout in the XLE. And with that being mentioned, I can look at some oil names to try to ride the momentum this morning, but they are already rising. I'm looking for quick dips out the gates to maybe join this party, but the hourly lows are really where I can join the party and looking for a bigger win. We'll see what happens on these. Beam showing up there, BEMM. What's up with this one? Scanners just showing up there. This is a solar name that I've heard before. It's trying to get a bounce. Nothing that seems exciting, but definitely some volume did come in it recently. All right, guys, let's keep going. Mitch thinks Costco owes you chicken. Yes, Costco does owe me chicken. Where's the chicken, Costco? Bring it over here. All right, guys, I'm going to drink a little bit of coffee. You guys out there, let me know. What are you guys looking at? And are you guys part of the Wolf Pack? Wolf Pack, baby. Wolf Pack. We gotta be a Wolf Pack out here, guys. Part of the pack. Let's go. All right, guys, let's keep going. Little pinkies on up. Got to drink a little bit of coffee and see what we can come up with. All right, let's see what we can do on the day trade side of things. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look. Was taking a trade already on what? On a healthcare name after what happened, right? NVS. So NVS trying to get a little bit of a bounce there. Just hanging in right now. So towards the bell, I'll be looking to see if I can add to this NVS and looking for a takedown on there. But I could also look at XLV as being that opportunity for a bounce to try to get short on these. Hourly resistance is towards 145. So move back above the 145 is the layer for me to try to get short off of maybe 146 level. So a lot of times I look for, if a stock is broken down, can it come back to resistance and reject that? That's how a lot of times you'll go. Because if you chase the low, a lot of times what happens is the stock pops to resistance. You're stopped out there, and then the stock comes right back down anyways. So something that I'll be watching. We'll see if that kind of works out today. Clean Spark, of course, the miners definitely in play this morning. Clean Spark already getting the lift here, 1776, pulled back. Yesterday had ripped towards 1840s, so be careful out the gates. What I would love to see in Clean Spark is a quick little pullback to like 17. So just watch some traders out the open and then see this come right back up. But that's just me. Like always, guys, be careful out there. And if this keeps going towards the upside, well, hey, doesn't look too bad. Look for Mara, Hut. There's so many names here that could get a nice lift. Hut yesterday and on Thursday was up to 1739. So maybe we can get a nice little pullback in Hut, and then looking for that to kind of come back towards the hourly support. Hourly support has it right around here, this 1490. So maybe an undercut below 1490s, back up through 15. Actually looks pretty interesting. So I'll be keeping an eye out on this one to see if it goes back through the 1550s. I'll set an alert, let you guys know when it does do that. Inside day still on the market. Have to find that ticker that goes. Hey, we'll see what happens there. SPY on the pullback recently, but hey, this is still holding in, man, holding in until it breaks that 9 EMA really and starts to come back towards this yellow line, the exponential 50. I think you still see some chop, up and down action, rotation in the big boys, and maybe NVIDIA lower. Talked about this. Lower NVIDIA actually makes sense for me. You can see it already giving up the 123 in the pre-market, going to the 122 and lower. And so what this does is it gives a hard look to get shorted today, because yesterday it was up there to 124. And this morning you weren't shorting, and now it's back at 121. So how do you go shorting now that it's back at 121 when you could have been shorting this yesterday at 124 and close to 125? So that's how they'll do it to you guys. They'll shake you in between the volatility. you'll get out yesterday on a short on NVIDIA, and today you would have been in the green. That's why you got to give yourself a little bit of volatility room. And one way to do that is to use like ATR. I don't know if you guys use the ATR, but that's something definitely we can take a look at. Something that I want to show you guys a little bit more of, it's like the daily ATR and how you can use that. Of course, the stock goes about $5. So sometimes you got to give yourself that room to try to play within that, right? So the low here and the high, 118, 124, there's a lot of room in between that. You have to be able to be on the top end so that you can risk a little bit above it. Things like this, or you can use the hourly ATR. Sometimes I use the hourly ATR and I'll do like 2 times the average ATR could be the risk. So this could be like $1.66, looking for that risk to hold and for it to come down. We'll see what happens there in NVIDIA. Using the average true range, another way that you guys can take another step up in your trading. Definitely smash the like, guys. You guys enjoying the action. We got a lot more for you guys. Let me know what stock is on your radar. What do you guys like? OPTT? That one's a classic, man. Believe it or not, that was one of my first original penny stocks that I traded. OPTT. I still remember it. It was a green trade. It was a green trade. I made like $300 on that. That was my first trade, and boy, was I addicted. I was like, man, I need to learn this trading stuff. Forget school. I want to trade. And you know how it is. All right, Diego. And I like the picture, man. Is that what is that? That's a little avatar. It looks like a little Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm not even gonna lie. Yu-Gi-Oh. All right, look at NVIDIA just walloped. Getting walloped right now on the 5 minute. And so what does this make me do? Doesn't make me feel confident about some other ones, but the rotation is going to be wicked, guys. So Tesla back up there through the 220s, now pulling back. We'll see what happens on that one. Apple, one of the strongest names right now. I definitely would be looking at this even in the pre-market. You can see how kind of holding in the 15-minute could make another run to 218, 217s today. We'll see what happens, guys. You know what time it is. It's time for the market. Let's see what happens here. Smash the like. Let's get after it, team. It's time. Let's go, team. Let's go. All right, team, I'll let you know what I find in the market. If you guys see anything out there, let me know in the chat. I'm looking around, guys. First one up is NVS, and I'm seeing Apple get a little bit of a spike there. About to step up on this NVS because I'm not getting the upside action there. So let me go ahead and try to step up here. NVS, go ahead, boom. Trying to add 100 shares if I can do it here in time. Let's go ahead. Market here, getting ready to go ahead and try to take it down here. I see the 33s. It tried to pop into the 40s, kind of failed that attempt here. So I'm looking for the takedown here. All right, just looking at this here. Let's go ahead. Let's set up for a 1 minute chart to be ready on the risk side of things. I'm right there at 32, so I'm looking to see if we get a little bounce here. If not, I'm going to go ahead and hammer it down, maybe through that 106.25s. All right, seeing a little bounce there, seeing Snowflake with a little bounce up there. Looking around, Para starting the day a little bit with a bounce there. MLGO with a little bit of a spike, so keep your eyes on that. The one that's coming back and viciously, just as much it came down yesterday, is AMD. AMD already to 158.90, so it could have just been a shake on AMD. Be careful out there, traders, but definitely seeing AMD come back fast today. So keep your eyes open on that. I'm seeing NVIDIA get a little bit of a bounce. That's something to keep an eye open for. Let me go to on. That's one that I'm looking at for the short side of things. And boy, oh boy, I think it's just getting a big hit down right now. So looking for that to kind of give a little bit of a bounce look there. Let me take a look really quickly here. NVS. All right, now starting to see that downside action come in here. I'm taking a shot here on NVS right out the gates here. Just got short there a little bit more, guys. Going to hold off the 106.46 level, 48 level. Yeah, that would give me about a 30-cent risk. 18 ticks risk, about $37 risk now. I'm going to look for a takedown in NVS. Let me go looking around because there's other trades that I want to take a trade on. This on give a nice little pop to 38.25s. Now taking another hit towards the downside. Would look for a move back here towards 38. Anything above 38, I can get short on. Costco giving a nice little bounce there towards the 847s here. Doesn't look too bad for maybe taking an attempt for Costco right back down off the 847s. Another one that I looked at yesterday, Deckers. Deck actually made me some good money, but at the same time, it didn't make me as much as I thought it would as this came back to the 950s. I could see this continuing to break down and trying to fill the gap at 900. So that's something to keep on watch. We'll look to see what happens with this one today on Deck. NVS trying to make a little bit of a bounce, hasn't really done so on. I'm looking to see if we get a little bit of a bounce here in this name. Back up. Skechers, how's the Skechers doing? 67.50s, not really coming up or down. Nike overall just giving a little bit of a bounce now, looking to see if this comes right back down. It does look like a little bit of a fade back up through the 77 though. You got to be careful with some footwear names because you could get a little bit of a spike because you're getting Nike to spike back, right? So keep that in mind. We'll see what else is out there, team. Let's keep it going, team. Let me go ahead and bring up my scanners here. The explosive winners, the unusual, and of course the opening range break. And so EVOK, one of the top names right now, 58 cents, trying to break up towards the $1 probably. Resistance on this one is 60. It does have a lot of volume coming in it right now. Let me go ahead and take a look at the volume action here. You can see there's about 20,000 shares. It's not the biggest one, but I'm looking at it right now. VLCN, another one, right? We've talked about that one. We looked at the electric vehicles this morning. It was down there to 575s, just broke 6, back towards 629s. Let's see if this can hold it. Up. Wheels up experience. Getting a little bit of a spike up there towards the 250s. I haven't traded this one up, but look at this one. It's a tendency of making some runs here. So not a bad one to keep on radar, especially after the 10 million shares that were traded on Friday. So someone's making that big money. Somebody out there. All right, NVS starting to go into the green there. So we'll see if this one can really kind of give me that nice reward. It's already kind of faded a little bit there. I'm going to take another shot here in just a second and then just hold off this 106.40s. Hasn't really broken down here. So I would like to see a first action break towards 106, then a comeback towards 106.20s. So let's see if we can get that first action down and then looking to go ahead and take a little bit more in this. Tesla, of course, was making a big move. That's holding in right now. AMD, though, look at this big push, guys. What a big push there to the 159.63s right out the gates, right back up. This is the biggest shake I've ever seen, man, on AMD. It just seems like it, man. It's so hard with that shake. All right, looking around, guys, starting to bounce a little bit there. That's still getting hit hard, so shorts on that still looks great. Let's go to XLE. XLE got up above the 92s, now has pulled back. We've talked about how we could see some quick pullbacks on these names and then a continued run. Valero pulling back here towards the 159. Before I was grabbing this, guys, it was at 156. So this is still looking pretty good, but man, it's already making the move. And you can see it here. Daily candles are closing green, even though they're going red at some point in the day and then reclaiming. So that's something to watch out for. PSX will look for that next layer to see if it comes back. There's NVS starting to get in the green there for me. So I can take a little bit of a bigger swing as I got in a couple of bounces that I know back up through that 160, 106.40s. That would be that kind of move where, you know, you'd probably want out anyways. So at this point, can get one more little bounce here and then look for the real takedown to come in and leak out. So that's going to be a move towards 106 and 105.90s. It's looking like we're getting that set up right this second. Let's see if the weight and the volume comes in on the takedown. You could get a bounce to like 46 and then another move down. So that's why I'm keeping that open right now and looking to see what happens here. All right, looking around NVIDIA kind of battling around, right? NVIDIA with a little bit of a bounce to the VWAP, trying to come back here for that kind of 123 in the pre-market, but it's finding a lot of resistance in the 122s. So it looks like somebody's getting short off that 122. We'll see what happens there. The Qs overall getting a nice little spike. SPY, nice little spike there. Let's see what's doing well for the day here. So for the day, what's up? What's up is basic materials, utilities, technology, industrials getting a nice little lift here. So CAT, GE has been one chart that I've been looking at for a while now, looking for this to get back up towards the 166 and 170s. Not a bad one to watch right now. So looking for a comeback here on GE towards 159. It's already getting that lift. If it pulls back to 159, I don't mind taking a shot on that. So we'll see what happens there. You guys in the chat out there, throw up what you guys are looking at. I'll be keeping a watch to see if there's anything else that stands out to me. I'm seeing Cassie on the downside on. AbbVie is someone that we were looking at to see what happened with this one, if it would get a takedown. And it did get the takedown through that 168.75. So this is one that I could look at. I talked about this in the pre-market, how it could break that 160, start working its way back down. It's already doing that. I'd be looking for kind of VWAP fades. So pushes back to the VWAP and fades. You got it right here. So you already kind of got that action off of this 168.19. Let's see if it breaks this 167.50s and keeps going lower. NVS with a little bit of a bounce there. I talked about how there's some share size at the 46 here, the 106.46. We'll look to see if that rejects. Right now I have a risk towards 106.50s. Snowflake on the pullback there. That's a nice little rejection there from NVS. Now let's see if they just take down on the downside action of things. I'm really taking a shot here, guys. I'm adding there towards it. Now I got about 300 shares, looking for bounces above the 29 to add here. We'll look to see what happens and then just kind of start to hold in a little bit tighter here. The 106.08 could come into play here. So that's another layer that I'm looking at for the downside action. Keeps kind of breaking in here. Of course, the daily chart has a nice little turnaround. It could come down and start starting to fill towards the 105.40s. Let's see what happens there. On, giving me a little bit of an alert there. Let's take a look. Oh, look at on, guys. This is one of the top shorts I wanted. But man, bounce out the gates. No move back to the VWAP. This is one that you got to kind of chase after this. But look at the action. They're now down to 37.20s. And this could have been one that I could definitely have banked on. The daily chart was prime for a short. So definitely on down there to 37.15. Skechers. We'll see if this one can keep going down. Deck is one that I could look at for the short in the other kind of the footwear accessories names. Let's see if this keeps going lower today. Not a bad one, but the problem with the Deck is the spread. The spread is wide, man. Up. Wheels up, trying to get back there to the 278. We'll look to see if this can keep going. Archer making a move today to 370, 350s on pullback. Seems to make sense on that chart. We'll see what happens on Archer Aviation as it's getting a nice little lift. And with Archer making a move, that one has a tendency to move Joby. And so you guys can see it here. Relationships. How I know sometimes some relationships. These are penny names that move side by side. Archer and Joby. So Joby, maybe a pullback to 5 seems to make sense for me on that one. We'll look to see if we get back there towards that 503, taking a watch on that. Let's go to MBS now, back towards it. All right, so you can see here, we've tried to come back up through that 106.40s. It still hasn't really cut down through this 106.25s. Let's see if we can actually make a move to 106 now. All right, there's the 19s, 20s, trying to cut down, trying to get down there. I'm definitely going to start holding off of the VWAP, so don't want the VWAP to break. I'm right there off of the VWAP, right below it. So at this point, don't want to see it back above VWAP. Want to start seeing this really start to let go. So any bounces, I can just add here and just keep going after it. I got 300 shares, so don't need to go and take a huge swing out the gates here. Just trying to make a nice little profit here. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. What's up, man? What are you guys taking a look at this morning? CLS talking about it. Auto parts getting going. Did not get that PayPal. Dang, it happens, man. The master of Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, man. You got to use the heart of the cards, the heart of the trade, more like it. Paramount would have pulled back to 1050. That actually looks kind of interesting for me. Nvidia back up to 122s, 122.50s now and starting to push higher. And look at AMD. What a son of a gun AMD is sometimes, guys. There's a green for NVS. Let's look if I break that 106. It starts to kind of cut lower. I'm looking to make like, 50, 60 bucks. Try to give myself a little cushion. start the day the right way, man. One of the things is I have not been taking some profits along the way. Looking for bigger moves has actually cost me as of late, and maybe I'm just not getting big enough. So 106.06 is kind of that layer to maybe look for that first kind of profit take. I could keep this going and then look to take half of it off there. But I'm looking for a nice little kind of trade to get me, get my feet wet this morning. I moved to 106, 87, $88 on the plus side. Let's see if we can go ahead and get this to break through towards the 106. Layer that I see some volume at is 105.98. So I'm going to actually put this up just a little bit more, closer towards 106.01s on this cut down. There's 106.13s. Let's see if we can get it to 106 right on the dot. Take our first trade, get the profits here, guys. I'll show you guys as I do this trade too. Also, detach it here. Let me show you guys it. You guys can see the orders out there. You guys can see me profiting. Always try to show you guys it. Full transparency here. Trying to show you guys it. Let's see if we can get it there, guys. 106.14s. Let's see if we can get it down to that 106 layer, 106.12s, 106.01s here. So I'm going to go ahead and just this is what I like to do sometimes. I'll just cancel this out, looking for the little cut down towards the lower 106, and I'm going to take it all off at once. So you can put it on the market end, or could just do it also on a limit buy. But looking for the little cut down towards the 106. I see this volume at 105.93s that it probably is going to come after right now. And as it does that, I want to go ahead and take the profits here. So let me go ahead and show you guys that. Detach this, show you guys it really quickly. There's the order right here, this 105.93s. I'm looking for it to break through that 106, go to that 93 spot, but I'm going to take profit on that move here. There's the 106.07 by 102s. So it doesn't look too bad there. I'm just looking for that 106 cut down. There's the 106.04s. There's it now down to 88. You see how it went down to 88? That's a good level that I'm looking at there. Now we're coming towards the 106.03s. Looking for the slight tick into the 90s. I'm going to go ahead and just take it here. Boom. Profit, baby. Profits, baby. Just starting off the day the right way today, trying to get in some profits, take the green. This was a trade based off pre-market action. Could keep battling and trying to stay in this one, but I'm just trying to make some money. Keep going at it today, guys. Smash the like, bounce it back a little bit, get some green on the screen. Sometimes it's just good to have some green today, guys. So it isn't a money rain. It isn't walking with the money bag, but bulls up, baby. Bulls up. Let's keep going, guys. Only one way to keep battling in this life is to keep battling. And you know it, man. The Bears are going to win always, guys. So trade the pool action, guys. Smash the like. Let's keep it going. Not a bad way to start the day. Getting a little bit of some good profits to start it off. Let's see the filled orders there, about $74, $72 after, of course, the execution fees and stuff, but not a bad way to start the day. Let's keep getting after it, team. All right, there's a little bounce there, so I'm just going to leave this one alone now. I can come back to NVS, but it has to come back to 106.25. So if it comes back to that layer, I'll go ahead and I'll let you guys know. I'm sending an alert. Got to go look elsewhere. Con getting hit hard. It's a 50-cent stock. And nothing that I like there. UPC, Universe Pharmaceuticals, trying to make a move, but definitely I don't like the spread on this one. Doesn't look that great. Para is not a bad looking trade here. It's off the 1050 spot. Seems to make sense for me off this 1050 spot. So it doesn't look too bad in the pre-market. Hourly levels, multiple highs in this spot. So I know that if it cuts down the 1040s, I got to go anyways. So I like this layer. I just want to see a little pullback to 52s here. Let me see if I can get 52s off the break. I don't mind maybe getting a little layer here and then adding to it. So looking for a little bit of a pullback here for a fill. Back to 53s. 53s seems to seem like that good spot there. I'll put 54. I don't mind 54s. First order out there for Para. Trying to get this little pullback fill on Para and see this get back up there. I think it could make a run there towards this 1070s and the pre-market 1065, 1085s. Maybe make a run to 11 today. Seems to make sense on the hourly too for me. Just need to see this kind of pull back and get that fill right off of this, right off the 1050 layer also. So pullbacks to that, I'm going to go ahead and try to get. Right now, it's at 1057. I don't mind starting a starter here adding towards the 1050s. But what I'm looking for is a quick dip towards 54s and 53s to fill me, and then I can keep adding. So 1 minute has this kind of pullback layer where it could come back into this spot here, this 1052. That's where I'm trying to grab it, right near VWAP or slightly below VWAP. Right now, 1054. News on SQ block getting a nice little lift there. Maybe it's PayPal also getting that lift here. I'll take a look to see if I see the news out there. I can use my Benzinga Pro. I see out there not much on Square, but it is getting a little big, a nice big push there. I know that Noli was watching PayPal. PayPal was rising after Susquehanna. Looks like there's an upgrade out there for profitable growth. So here you guys have it. Here's this upgrade this morning. It was an upgrade on PayPal with a maintained price target to 71. That's helping it out this morning, getting a little lift there. Square, it seems to be like the better trade. So I'm looking for pullbacks to 64 on that one. We'll see what happens. Para, no fill there, guys. It's just starting to kind of just push up. So looking for a pullback fill here to back towards 1050s. Don't want to overexpose too early. So just looking for this to come back. We'll see what happens there. RDZN, we were talking about this one in the morning. Wisdom was watching it. It was back down to the 220s, now back up to the 280s, just like that, team. So there you guys see it now starting to make the move. Will it make it to 3? Find out here. RDZN. Archer this morning. ACHR was making a nice little move. I was talking about maybe Joby off of that. Joby is continuing to push. All right, looking around to see what else is showing up there. Easy Go. That's a battery name. Not doing too much on that one. All right, looking around to see what else is making a move today. How's the Clean Spark, guys? A quick dip back down in the 1750s. Now recovering that 18. Doesn't look bad off the day. Starting to really push. This one has momentum and could keep pushing. AMD. What a move to start the day, man. Up there to 161. I'll look for pullbacks, but man, that was a wicked move to the upside. NVIDIA getting up there to the 123s, now rejecting that break to the upside. So this is one to kind of keep a watch. I see the hourly rejection here off of the previous kind of cut down level, off this kind of 123s. So we did get above the 123, but didn't hold there. So I could risk off that 123. If I wanted to take a short on NVIDIA, I'd look for a 123 crack right now. Double top, triple top near this layer. So like 123.18s and then the fade down. We'll see what happens there on NVIDIA. Look how it comes right back down there. This is one that I definitely don't want to step in front, but at the same time, doesn't look too bad there. Para, still no pullback there. We got to pull back to 1054s there, but still not the 1050 layer or the 1052 layer. It is trying to get some volume, though. I do see the volume trying to get in there, so I'm keeping an eye open for what happens with this one. Market depth, you got to go ahead and take a look here. You can see here there's a lot of volume on this, so they're playing within the range right now. I think that's an important outlook. So if I could get this pullback towards like this 50 or 49, it seems to make sense for it to come back to the 1060s. We'll see what happens on that one. RDZN, there's a lot of action going on out there. This one's trying to break the 3 now, just pulled back to the 90 EMA, now back above the 3. Doesn't look too bad at all. And you guys see it here, technology, basic materials leading. And I know that coal made a big move yesterday. HCC made a big move yesterday. A lot of these coal names made a big move. We'll see if this can keep going. BTU on the pullback right now. XLE starting to work its way back. So now we're starting to see these oil names start to come back. So hourly lows starting to hold, and now we're starting to see the comeback. So this looks good here for me on Valero for the hourly holds. So look at the hourly chart and say, okay, so where do we want to hold on this hourly chart? Want to hold towards these close. We came back towards 158.60s there prior. Let's see if I can go back into that 158.60s. That's kind of the layer that I'd like to go ahead and get in. And then I'd have to risk off that 158, right? So things like this, I can definitely take a look at. Marathon Petroleum doing the same similar move. Hourly pullbacks then could start getting going. So I'm looking at this one. Daily chart still looks kind of ugly on this one, but one candle can turn things around, man. A move to 180 today, and you're looking great. So we'll see what happens on this one. The pullback layer giving us this trend line approach. has already cut through it and now trying to recover it. So maybe towards 173.50s here for MPC on the comeback. We'll see what happens there. Oil stocks, I'm just taking a look at them. What's up with the Oxy? Oxy's back to 63.25s, back through the 63.50s. Something definitely to watch for. Charge Point giving a little bit of a lift there towards the 160. So seeing some different names today, guys. Polar Power, a lot of these EVs, battery plays showing up in the scanners. All right, guys, back towards Para is back towards that 1050. Looking at that, AMD's on the pullback. I'm taking a look here at NVIDIA. Let's take a look. NVIDIA tried to get back towards that 123 and struggling there. Now we'll look to see if it comes back towards the 121 layer. And how's Apple today? Is that strong still happening? That strength in the big boys? Google trying to recover here, the 184s. Let's see if Google can recover, make that move up. Amazon has been pretty hot there, trying to make that 199 move. So hourly pullbacks on that seem to make sense for me. That's 196 right now. Doesn't look too bad off that 196. Clicked it just earlier with a slight cut down. We'll look to see if Amazon starts to work its way back. ASST, don't know this one, but trying to break through the $2 spot. There's some moving out there. Definitely some volume out there. All right, catching up with you guys. What's up out there, guys? Took off half of the RDZN. Yeah, nice short of RDZN. There you go. Get after it, team. I see you guys going for it. Bullseye, what's up out there, man? Red Day down 130, 120. Hey, man. Have a 20 cushion before, need to fund more money. Hey, tough day, man. That's how it is sometimes, man. All right. It's how it goes sometimes, Bullseye. I know you were talking about how you were going towards different brokerages and kind of using your own money. And sometimes that's the reason why we talk a little bit about, having capital access, right? That's what Trade the Pool really does for you. Gives you access to that capital to see if you're really ready for those bigger accounts. But I wish you the best, man. Hope you bounce back and start nailing some good trades. Joby's trying to keep going. We'll see what happens on that one. Paro with the big wipeout move back towards the 1046. We'll look to see if this can hold hourly pullbacks. That's right around this 1040 layer. So maybe I can get 1039 entrance and this comes back. But for right now, I'm leaving it alone. I was even looking at taking a trade on this just 2 seconds ago. So what I'll do is I'll set an alert at 1050 for it to come back. If it does, then we can talk about it. For right now, it doesn't really matter. It's definitely on that pullback. We'll look to see what happens on that one. Snow went up there and then right back down. So just be careful with that snow. I've talked about ZS and PNW as being potential shorts today. You got pops into those highs that could start to act as resistance and it could start to work its way back down. So Zscaler, definitely one that I'd keep an eye out for. Also has been made a big lift. Just went back there to 199 and could start to reject to the downside. So it's setting up for a big push to the upside. And now it could start to break down. So the breakdown level is this 197. There she starts to break there. So the risk would be towards 198.30s. Got to understand the risk, but not a bad one to keep a watch on for a little bit of a pullback action after 3 straight days of kind of just lifting, guys. So not a bad one to watch. We'll look to see if it goes back to the 200. Of course, this one came off the CrowdStrike. The CrowdStrike kind of short. This was a rating downgrade. And you can see how this has come back here, trying to go through the resistance. A lot of resistance in the 385s. That's where I think you're seeing some shorts come in on CrowdStrike. So we'll see if that kind of holds. And we start to see the breakdown through the 382. NVO. We'll look to see what happens on that one. NVO is starting to cut down there towards the 140. NVS is one that I was looking at earlier. It did come back here towards 1017. Now looking for that next layer. Of course, I shorted this one through the 106. Was able to make some money right out the gates. We'll see what happens there. RDZN up there towards 3. We'll look to see if this one pulls back and takes another layer. AMD pulling back to the 158. And we'll see if this comes right back up, man. AMD is a quick son of a gun, man. It went up just as quickly as it went down yesterday and then took a bounce and started climbing back all day. So we'll look to see if it just hits that 161 and just fades off of it. But I don't trust that AMD chart by any means necessary. All right, let's take a look there. Chewy, what's up with Chewy? Is it coming back today? It pulled back significantly out the gates again. We'll look to see if it comes back. Nothing that I want to take a look at right now on that chart. Clean Spark pulling back there towards the VWAP. Doesn't look the best right now. Could take another step backwards. OPTT, sideways action. Yeah, sideways on that. Para back towards the 1050s, did do that kind of fake out to the downside. Now we get the lift here. So it doesn't look too bad to see this lift happen in Para. If I did take this trade, I would go a little bit bigger and see what happens. But hey, let me go ahead and attach here my market depth, see how Para is doing. All right, I see that 1046. There's that 1060s that keeps showing up there. So I think it could get through that 1060s on this next layer if it gets back up there. And then the run can happen here. So I wanted kind of the 1050s, 1052 layers. So I'm looking for a little bit of a slight move back. But I think this is going to be kind of one of those quick moves up. Let's go ahead. I'm going to take a quick trade here. I'm going to keep it tight. So I got to keep it towards like 1048. Let's see what happens here. Taking 200 there. Going to add to this as we start. If we get any type of pullback right now, I'm going to take a little bit of a swing here on Para. Big thing is I kind of like this news. I kind of think that the setup and the catalyst itself could actually work for them. So another thing I could look at is how WBD is trading on this. You can see how that one's a little bit higher. So that's telling me at least that's holding the VWAP. That's actually looking good. All right, seeing some volume come in off the 48s and 50s layer. So I could see us getting through that. Looking for pullbacks to 1050 to add a little bit more. Let's see if I can go ahead and just set this up here. All right, I got some pullback layers for 200 buy. And then I can always mark it in. Try to get some more here. All right, 1056. I'm trying to get a little bit more. I got 400 at 1055. Of course, I got pullback layers to try to grab some more. Looking for this to pop towards the 1070s. So, of course, can risk a little bit more since the risk is just about 10 cents here. So let's see if we can start getting this to really kind of drive up. Would like to see this take out. And you see there's a lot of volume that came in on that pullback. That tells me something. I'm looking for the next kind of big push to the upside, and maybe we get news sometime during the day where we actually get the news for this Para to make the lift. So there you guys see it. I just got some more fills there. I got 800 at 1053s. Now I just got to understand where my risk is, right? My risk is going to be here towards the 46, and we're going to do it to the 45. We'll risk about $62. Of course, I have a $70 cushion. Looking for this to kind of break up towards the 1070s and the 1080s. Could take some of it off there and look to see if the rest can give really a nice little rise. So now that we're starting to hold the VWAP, that's actually looking really well. We didn't want to see it close below this kind of close. So that's a 1046 layer on the pullback. Looking for this to now start pushing towards 1060s and take out the 1070. Can add another 200 shares. We just want to make sure that I get it at the right layer and that we're starting to break out. Mara with a nice little pullback. All right. See you guys mentioning some different names. Love to see it in the chat. Keep throwing up those names, guys. We want to keep showing it up to other traders too. It's not just what I'm looking at, guys. What are you guys looking at? There's Mara pulling back there. Clean Spark is one that I'd keep on the radar. Of course, I feel like those could pull back, but hey, not a bad names to keep on watch there. Charge Point making the move today. Joby, some of the names. AMD. That thing's still pulling back, man. That thing's a wicked name for sure. Snow keeps leaking out there on back down to 37 today. So definitely the shoe trade, man. That one wasn't bad. Nike rejected it, and that gave us another sign that maybe debt could go lower. This still hasn't broken down, but I feel like this really could just start to let go. You can also look at Crocs for the takedown, and look at that, guys. Crocs down to 143. This one's continuing to get hit. So it just seems to me like these apparel trade, definitely an area to kind of keep a watch on. Department stores breaking down could be the next layer. So that's one thing that I'm keeping an eye open for. Let's go back to Para, taking a bigger trade on this one. So I want to keep focus on it, guys, but looking around for you guys, trying to find some trades out there. Do me a favor, guys, you guys tuning in. I see a lot of you guys tuning in. Hit the like button. Hit the like on X, of course, so you guys can tell everybody about this stream. If you do me the favor, hit that retweet. That retweet, it really helps us out, guys. I'm going to be working to try to get me some mini packages that I can offer you guys as maybe some giveaways or something like that. Hit the like. Let me know if you guys are interested in something like that, and how you guys can show me it is by retweeting this stream right now and telling me, hey, yeah, Mitch, get those giveaways out there. We'll be here to support you guys, just like I support you guys out here, right? It's a back and forth team. Let's help each other get to success. Para trying to make that move, trying to start to lift there at 1056. Can it go towards the 1060 spot, right? Any kind of pullback towards my layer, I can go ahead and add. I don't mind it on an ad. I just want to go ahead and start to see this get to the 1060s. Then pullbacks seem to make sense here. Let's see if we get that next layer. I got 800 shares right now. Looking to make a good day today. Tesla up there to 225, almost filling that gap. Look at that. Look, guys, look at that. Can you believe it? Right here on the stream, guys. And definitely trade the pull action. Check it out, guys. This is something that we were pointing at just yesterday. Just yesterday on our Twitter, we were taking a look at that. I don't know if you guys caught it, but boy, oh boy, what a move there. Twitter, we talked about it. Would it fill that gap? The news came in today, definitely helping it to get there. But hey, that's what it's all about, guys. Trade the pull action. You guys can see it right here. Look at this, guys. Would this fill the gap there? We're right there, guys. We're getting into that spot. That's money in the bank for some traders out there. And where you guys are getting that, man? Where are you guys getting that? Let me know. Hit the comments after the show. What do you want to see more of? This was a swing trade idea from the 180s. We were looking at that inverse. We saw this day where it kind of turned right around. This is what you guys can get on this stream. And I'll tell you right now, this is the bread and butter, guys, because where else are you guys going to get that? I don't think anybody has been on top of this Tesla move the way that we've been on it right here on Trade the Pool, of course. Check us out every single morning, guys. We're available to you guys starting at 8:30. So we do a watch list. We talk about these swing trade ideas. We also have talked about Palantir. We've talked about Affirm. We've talked about AMD's swing trade. There's so many actions that you guys can catch right here on Trade the Pool. All right, guys, let's keep it going, guys. Nice little read. And yeah, I hope you guys were able to nail that one, man. Come on, man. That's money in the bank. Now I actually would think about it like, you know, it could pop through that and then fade right back down. So just be careful out there, traders. I know that some traders are making some good money on this. We'll look for this to continue going, but not a bad move to start the day. I'm not going to be mad. I'll tell you that much. All right, guys, looking for this par to get going through the 1060s. It's a layer above that at 1065 with 9,000. It needs to start making this 1050 run. So I want to see a run towards 1060s and 1062. If it doesn't happen, I'll probably cut out at the 1050s, tighten down the risk here. So I'm tightening it down. I'm looking for this to really go. But if we don't get the next action, we could start slowing down. So looking at that to see what happens there. But definitely catch us in our trading outlook. We put this out all the time, man. I can't say it enough, guys. If you haven't checked out our Twitter, you guys are definitely missing out. Check it out, guys. We're always putting out. Look at this, guys. This is back when we were looking at the inverse head and shoulders before that trend line move, before even the gap fill here to the left. And what we were looking at, we were talking about how this looks like great levels for the move, right? That's exactly what I want to be able to kind of show you guys. So definitely check out our Twitter. We're taking a look at that every single morning and trying to keep showing you guys different trade outlooks so that you guys can keep up with different trades. I remember this one on Carnival. That one was a monster trade there that you guys could have made also. So keep looking at it, guys. We're going to keep taking some different trades and different playbook attempts for you guys so that you guys can continue to watch. Look here, back on when? This was on June 21st, guys. June 21st, we were talking about Tesla and how for a potential break line of the neckline, right? 50% retracement, looking for that Tesla move, right? Looking for it to complete the pattern. And that was back then when we weren't even completing this inverse head and shoulder pattern. This was a nice big lift there for Tesla. All right, guys, just wanted to show you guys that because the value is there given every single day. You guys just got to check it out on our Twitter. All right, 10:55. We'll see if we get this next move through this. Para is kind of just struggling there to get that next breakout. Not really seeing it there, but I'm going to go looking around for some other trades. I'm starting to see some trades getting a bounce and can take a look out there. AMD is one to kind of keep an eye out for. It's been holding this 158. Does it want to make the move right back up? It could do it, but it could fade off also. It doesn't make me feel confident, at least. TSM, how's that one doing today? Is that one in the green? Yes, it is in the green, and it's actually bouncing off the VWAP. This actually doesn't look too bad here for kind of holding in at the top end of the range and going right back to the upside. I wouldn't mind to kind of focus on this one, so I'm taking a look at it for the 173 undercut and comes right back up. We'll see what happens on there. 5 minute kind of holding in here on TSM. Google's another one that I'm looking at for some upside outlook. I think this could work its way back and eventually start working its way towards 187 off the highs. And here's the recovery coming in already back towards the 184s. So pullbacks do look good here for Google. Don't mind even a scalp on Google. We'll see what happens on that one. Amazon comeback also looks great for the 200, right? We've talked about how this is holding, trying to make the move to 200. We'll look to see that next lift. Good little layer there. Let's see if this can keep pushing, guys. All right, let me take a look at the scanners here. I got a lot going on, guys, so smash the like, guys. On, showing me a little bit more, but Amazon, Apple, some of the stocks that I'm looking for the continued strength because the rotation's going away from NVIDIA and going towards the bigger boys, right? So I'm taking a look at those. Tesla, look at that, and that can keep the Qs going. That can keep the run going in technology because you get an adjustment move there, right? So that's what I'd be paying attention to here now on Google on pullback. I'm looking for it. Google on pullback here. Let's see 183.70s to 183.50s. Wouldn't mind to take a shot there to maybe to go ahead and catch this kind of 15-minute pullback layer and then look for this to start really kind of pushing above. So back above the 184 is the important spot. 183.70s on this pullback seemed to make sense too off this 183.50s. So if I can get the 183.70s, 183.75, somewhere in there, I don't mind trying to take the shot back towards 184 for Google today. All right, let's take a look at this Google trade here. Still got Para, but I do want to take a trade on a little bit bigger names now. I'm starting to focus a little bit more on those high quality names, right? And here's that dip there to 75s. I'm taking the 72s. I'm looking for a little bit below 72s to add here. If I could get it on Google, I do want to add a little bit there. Boom, I just grabbed a little bit there at 70s, willing to go down towards the 50s, and then I got a risk there towards the 183.40s. But there's the 60s. I got 183.71. Let's see if I can get lower 60s here. If I can get a lower 60s off the 58s, that seems to make sense. 70s are holding in here. It's trying to recover. Okay, so that actually looks good. I'm buying a little bit more here, guys. Added 300 shares, 183.73s, and that push starts coming back. Looking for the push. I got to hold about a 1 minute, so I'm looking for the about 10:11, 10:12. Let's see if we can get this to break towards the 184.20s and things like that. Right above for the breakout above the high. The 184.13 looks good. I think this could run towards 184.40s here. Let's see if we can get that little run. And I can take some profits here. All right, let's see if Para makes a move too. I'm going to go ahead and set a stop on Para because I just want to protect myself as I'm in this Google trade. I do have a stop set there. It was a little bit below it, but now I'm tightening down as I felt like this should have already ran. All right, we'll see what happens there on Para if it starts to get the move. Looking for a move towards like 1080s, 1090s on that one. So we'll keep watching that to see if it makes a move, but I already set the stop there. Going to go back to Google and focus on Google now. Joby and Wheeler giving me that alert, guys. And Wheeler, you guys know how that one likes to move, guys. So be careful out there, guys. But this stock, look at this thing, man. It's trying to break through the 20s. This thing has been an absolute monster. But the only thing with this, guys, is the spread. You got to be careful on a spread like this. It's about 60 cents, man. So the way that I would play this is I would be playing this really small. That's the only way I can play it. So I'd have to play it off this 1875, maybe 50 shares. because I have to risk like $1 or $2. So let's just have fun with this, just to kind of learn how could we trade this. I'm just going to trade this with 10 shares just to learn, right? Just to learn, guys. So I'm taking a little bit of a trade there. Looks like I got a little bit of a stop out there for Para with a little bit of a stop out there. So just want to mention that. Grabbed a little bit here of Wheeler, just did the 10 shares just to kind of show the trade here. But really, this is not really up my alley. This is kind of more definitely different type of style of trade. But I just want to show it, see if this really takes off. It's a kind of a learning experience here. Trade, let's see what happens. The trade could be back through like 25, which would still make us like $60. So risking about $20.90 right now for a $64 kind of gain. We'll see what happens there on Wheeler. Let's go back to Google. All right, Google making that move, and I do have the 1 minute, so I'm going to be trying to take some profits into this move as it starts to push. Let's see that push start to get going here, and then definitely going to go ahead and just take the profits. There's the 184.08s. Let's see if we get to 184.20s here, dropping it towards 184.18s here. Let's see if I can take the profits and run here. Right up at the top here, looking to take the profits, and boom, there we go. Taking the profits there in Google. Not bad. I'm trying to make a little bit more of these snap in, snap out types of trades, and that's not a bad one right there, guys. So, of course, still taking that Para. That's what I was looking for, but Para kind of stopped me out on that downturn there. So definitely getting out of that one. We can get back to it, but that's fine. Just want to make sure that when I lose, I'm losing really small right now, and when I win big, baby. Let's go. And we got a nice little cushion. Nice little trade there on Google. Got out of Para, for a $34 loss. So still got a loss today. But look at the wins, 74, 127. Let's keep going. Let's see what else can happen. Google could keep running towards the 184.40s and just keep pushing. But I'm just trying to do these little kind of scalp in, scalp out trades. So now what I can look for is 180 below 184, 183.70s, 183.80s for the comeback right into Google. And there you guys see it, 184.25s. Not a bad little trade. Continuing the battle, guys. Continuing the battle. There you go, day trade with Tony. It's good to see you, my friend. Come hang out with me in the morning sometime, Tony. I would love to see your outlook. What are you looking for? What setups? But hey, like always, man, I wish you the best. It's good to see you already getting after it. Rivian, not a bad one. I've been catching that one. It's a snail trade, not a turtle. That's for sure. All right, guys, let's keep going, guys. We'll see what else is out there. My cursor hair disappeared when using on the screen trading. How do you get that? Oh, the cursor? Oh, the cursor. All right, so the cursor. So you see here on the pointer. I'll show you right now. And on Trade the Pool, I got you, man. All right, so on Trade the Pool, you want to go ahead and make sure that this is clicked. So the pointer, you can do that right there. And then the snap the candles, you guys can do that. You can hit here. It should be showing you the crosshairs. If it doesn't show you the crosshairs, I'll try to find another way for you too. It could be also right here that you get that crosshair. Let me see here, the crosshair. I'm trying to catch it for you guys exactly where that is. Oh, it's right here on the view. So view, crosshair. So just make sure you have that selected, right there. Got you, man. Always here to help you out, man. Let's go. We in this together, man. All right, Universal Boss. I got you, man. The boss is here, man. Wisdom, RC, let's go. Took 1/3 more out of PayPal, leaving a small amount. If it wants to go more, I like that. I like that, man. That's that for BE. Hey, take that money and run, Noli. Go enjoy your day, man. I love how you come in with a plan, attack the day, see what happens, and then enjoy the rest of your day, man. We'll see what happens on that one. What's up with Wheeler? Let's go back to this stock, man. This is a ridiculous stock, man. It's so light that you got to be careful, man. The spread is 77 cents for an $18 stock. Something definitely that I probably wouldn't trade. But hey, it's something to learn from. And I want to go ahead and try to learn from this. Use it as a learning experience. Use $20. That's fine. Let's see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens on that Wheeler. See if it starts to go. Maybe it makes me a little gain and I learn from it, right? All right, let's go to some other plays. RDZN was one that was moving earlier. That's up there towards 312 and continuing to hold. AMD back towards 157.70, starting to hold that pullback. Let's see if it actually wants to make another drive to the upside. On, still down there by the VWAP and fading off. This one could keep fading on the day and just break down through the low again. This is about, what, 60 cents on the downside. So it doesn't mean that this is completely over with, right? I got to kind of watch this, but Nike's continuing to go lower. Skechers keeps breaking down. This one hasn't really broken down to the next layer today, but is just keeps on the downside action. Look, Deck just fading off, right? Crocs fading off, Under Armour fading off. These look weak, man, really weak. So on is one that I could just go after for a really short time trade, but it'd have to go big. So let's see if I can go ahead and get after this one. I don't mind it there. It has a 1 up, 1 down, 2 up, 2 down, 3 up. Let's see if it goes and makes a move towards like 337.30s and then the takedown. I'm going to look to risk off of this layer to the left, which is the 337.44s. Need to see a little bit of a spike here and then a fade. So it spikes just slightly above the VWAP and then fades down. That's the way I can trade it here. We'll see what happens. SIDU, let's go. All right, Universal, get after it, man. It's good to see you. You just got into trade the pool yesterday. Hey, shout out to you, my friend. SIDU, pullback to the 226, man. This thing was just up there at 260s. What happened with this one? Well, this is what's happened with this one. Look at the daily chart. This thing just keeps going down, down, down. We'll see if it starts to make the bounce, but it doesn't look that great right now. Joby, back down to 505 here, guys. This actually doesn't look too bad to maybe hold the $5 pullback. Need to see Archer. Archer is the one that was leading this puppy back up. So a move back towards, let's say, 380s. That actually looks good for Joby. I actually don't mind this on Joby off this 505. It did do a 501 touch right now, so I could risk off that $5 for a move to 530s. Doesn't look too bad, especially as I see the other stock kind of making the lift. So Joby, I'm going to go ahead and take a look here, see if I can go ahead and try to get a nice little starter here. Adds at 5, and then have to risk there towards like the 495s. Definitely wouldn't want to see that break. Let's take a look at the daily chart on this. Daily chart is trying to make a move back through 525s, but fails every time. You can see it 1, 2, 3 fails already on the day, and we got 1 fail earlier. Let's see if on the next time we go through that 525, we actually break it. So that's what I'm going to look for here, guys. Let me see if I can go ahead and take a little bit of a trade here. Take a shot, guys. It's all about taking shots sometimes. So this Joby doesn't look too bad at all for the next up move. Let's see what the... Okay, so right now there's 4,000 at 5. There's 8,000 at 514, and then another 8,000 at 494. So I would love for this to get close to that $5 bid and then just jump. So going down to like 502, 501, then the push higher. So looking for that to come in here. You can see the volume is very low on this name. That's another thing to keep in mind. Zap moving today back up to 250. We'll see what happens on that one. Shorting SIDU doesn't look bad, Wisdom. Doesn't look bad. All right, looking around to see what's going to make the move back here, guys. AMD is trying to bottom out. Not seeing much out there, guys. Looking around to see what's going on with the overall market here. The Qs are kind of just battling around. If I take a look at what's making the moves today, industrials are going higher, financials and technology. What's leading that industrial move? Well, let's take a look here. GE was one I mentioned just recently as I started to see this start to get hot. This actually looks good here for a swing trade outlook off this kind of 158 level for this to make the move back here towards 167. So it's about $6 higher. Doesn't look too bad. Just get a nice little VWAP pullback and then just bounced off that 160.28. So this one actually looking pretty good today. XLI is another way to play this, right? The industrial. And then we can take a look at what's making the move here on the hourly. What's moving here on the hourly? Let's find out. So the best move there is going to be PH, Deere, GE, Car. Do you see how there's like multiple moves here and multiple setups? That's one thing that you can note. And this is what the algos try to do. They try to determine an area where they can go ahead and separate some of their capital and go towards different names. We'll see if these can keep running. All right, going back to the Joby name, that's still holding in off that 5, but hasn't made that next move. Archer, what's up with that? ARCH, I think it is Archer. ACHR, that's the ticker. So looking to see if this can make the next move towards 375 and starts to make the run towards 4. This one doesn't look too bad. It has a lot of volume also in it, but not making the move just yet. But the setup's there. You can see it on the 5-minute. You can have that nice approach here. The 15-minute kind of holding in here. But you could get the pullback back towards the 9 EMA first, which is a pullback to 361. PSNY seems to be good off the lows. Polestar, man. I don't even see this car actually, this company actually coming out with real cars that are going to last for a long time. This looks like a Fisker to me, but hey, it is trying to get a move, and it definitely is moving today. Up, trying to get through that $3 spot. I don't think it'll get there again. This Wheeler not doing anything on the move right now, so I might just cut it here because nothing's going on with it. So, I mean, this could still make the move here, but I'm just kind of bored out of it, guys. So I'm going to just go ahead and just cut it here. Nothing that I want to even kind of trade here. It's not up my alley. I'm just getting out of it, guys. Just cut it there. You guys watch me cut it. Let's go looking around to see what we can find here. Looking at different names. AMD's looking interesting off that 157 layer. So we definitely have to hold that 157. So looking to see right now to see if it does that. Kind of the attempt to break down to the 157. So you see this kind of attempt here and then back up with a big move back to 160. It's a look, but man, AMD's been so trappy. It's hard to go after it. Tesla up there to the 227 and still holding in right now. Let's go back to Google. Google that I was looking at. 184 now holding. That's kind of the layer that I was looking at to see if it held after that big push. Now I'd like to see 183.80s on this pullback to maybe take another shot in Google to the upside. I don't mind it. Come back towards this 183.80s right here off this kind of VWAP look. 183.80s and 183.70s. Doesn't look too bad. So let's go to the 15-minute look here. That's a throwback look back here towards this 183.90s to 183.80s. Let's see if I can get Google and just keep coming in and out of it today. Doesn't look too bad here for that comeback. And remember, I did 300 shares on the last time. What's up with the Z-scaler and the short on outlook on that? Look at that, guys. A pop above and a breakdown through that 197. Not a bad look. This is one of our playbook looks today. Actually, the snow off this 143 doesn't look too bad here for risk. This has been hot here. The daily chart can have a pullback to 135. It doesn't look too bad here for a fade. It's done a kind of a push up, a pull back, another push up, a pull back. It could do one more attempt here towards this 147 70s and then the fade right back down. So this is actually on my radar for the short side of things. But hey, you guys take a look at that. Call your own shots, baby. All right, let's see if we can get this cut down back below the 184s for Google, back towards 183.80s. What's up out there, guys? We got a lot of you guys tuning in today. Good amount of you guys. So say hello if you're brand new. It's always good to see you guys. And you guys that are on Twitter, guys, come over to the YouTube side of things so that I can catch you guys in the chat. Bullseye, there you are, my friend. What's up, man? What are you looking at, Zap? You zapping it? It's showing up here on the scanners. The volume's there for Zap. It's definitely showing up. Even Tesla's volume is showing up on the unusual volume. So that's something to know. CENX, that's a aluminum company that's making a big move up today, guys. 18 aluminum. Getting hot here. Let's look at Alcoa. Alcoa is the aluminum name, really. You can see aluminum, big push up this morning. Not a bad push there. Holding right now the 40-70 pullback, the 41s trying to get back above. We'll see what happens there. Alcoa. How's coal doing today? HCC still holding in there. BTU coming in off the bottom here now. I want to see if BTU can actually run again, man. This has been pretty much sideways for a long time. Definitely on my radar to keep a watch on BTU. I always love to watch it and I love the way it moves, but hasn't done much in the past, especially in the last kind of 2 years. And this is one of my favorite names. When it used to run, I used to play it plenty of times. XLE going higher there. And then look at Google, man. Google pulled back to that 184 and didn't cut down, and now back up there. We'll look for it to take out the upside. Wasn't able to get that another pullback, but that's fine. Amazon did pull back. Now has multiple layers off this 196. So definitely that 196 seems to me like it could be a layer where you're finding some buying support. We'll see if 196 holds here and starts to climb back here on Amazon. Hourly lows trying to hold on Amazon. Let's see if it holds there and takes the next step. XLE is actually starting to get a little bit stronger as energy starts to move back. I'm going to be looking to see if this starts to get hot here. Valero, look at Valero, man. That 159 that I was maybe targeting earlier for the 1 hourly pullback, the hourly level right here off the resistance, right back up, man. So that hourly pullback game, the strategy that I was given this morning actually worked to a key. I just didn't execute on it. So let's see how PSX did off of that hourly look pullback, layer came back down to the 141 layer. That's the trend line approach. Now coming back through that resistance, 142. Now I don't want to see 142 hold. MPC was another one that I was looking at for that 175 approach. And look at that, back towards 177 for this one. 174, big push back towards the upside. Let's see what's up with Gush. Gush there towards 3650s. These actually don't look too bad. Oxy's actually on the downside of things. So this actually makes me want to go for Oxy here off this low. But I can look at Chevron also. There's so many names in the oil space to maybe take a look at. Chevron actually pulling back off the hourly low. So we'll look to see what happens with this one if it comes back towards the 158 level. So that's kind of the level that I'd look for on Chevron. So can this hold the low and then work its way back there towards 158? There's potential. 5 minutes is really starting to come down here, as in pre-market. It was up there towards that 158. Looking to see if Chevron can turn things right back to the upside. Doesn't look too bad there, man. Maybe have a little bit of a risk there, but watching it. See what happens there. All right, up. Not looking too bad there. Let's see what happens on that one. Will it keep going? AMD trying to hold that 157. Did it just do that move? Yeah, it just did that move, right? So there's that move trying to break down the 157. It comes back to 157.50s. Now, let's see if it goes back to that 157, because it could do like a triple bottom there. So you see the double bottom there on the 2 times attempts to break that 157. You could get one more attempt there to the 157 and then the breakout. Let's see what happens on that one. NVS giving me an alert there as it starts to pop back. This one could start working its way back up and then another takedown later in the day. Don't have any positions on right now. Let's take a look at the swing trade side of things, see how that's looking. All right, swing trade side of things, a lot of things in the green. Palantir almost up $100. It's up there to 26.26 and it's continuing to rise. This is one of the swing trades we've had on for a while now, guys. Been in this since 24. It's at 26. I wanted to take out this high, this 26.57 into the 27s and 28s. I will be taking some profits. Let's see if that happens today. I actually am going to go ahead and just set this up. So I don't want to miss the profit take, right? So I'm going to go ahead up and put here 20 shares, half of the order. Want to go ahead and get it through the 27 spot. So let's just go and put 27 to make it simple. Sell, boom, set that order up. Let's see if it goes through there today and I'll take the profits. I mean, that's a big push. XLE doing pretty decent here. Just needed to get back into the 92s, hold 91.50s now. Get back into that 92. Doesn't look too bad there. We'll see what happens. And then Walmart short side of things. It's back up there towards the 67.50s. Could go ahead and just add to this trade on the short side of things if I wanted to. Doesn't look too bad there, but I'm just going to continue to watch to see what happens on that one. Really need to start doing a bigger breakdown. Costco recovering there, so just be careful out there. Costco almost back there towards the 850s. And look at Palantir. Go, baby. Go, Palantir. Go. Zappy zap. Showing up there, man. Nice little spike there towards the 270s. We'll look to see if that one can keep making the move. Tesla back to 230s. What a move, guys. Look at this. Now it's looking to me like it's actually interesting for a short, but that's just because I'm just a degenerate, man. Oh, man. I could go after this on the swing trade side of things on the short side, but I would have to go at it at what, like 5 shares here, work my way towards like 240s and making sure that if it does get to 240s, it starts to work its way back. But pullback layers could be a move all the way back down towards like 212s. But look at that takeoff in Tesla. What a move, man. And this is the type of move that I really love. Long-term trend line approach. It's just incredible today. All right, let's go ahead, guys. What's going on out there, guys? Love seeing the Tesla move since I'm trading the 2X ETF, the TSLL. Yes, not a bad one to trade, especially on a day like today. And of course, where can you guys get this outlook? Honestly, I don't think anybody else was like as on top of this Tesla move as we were right here on, of course, Trade the Pool, guys. Smash that like. All right, SMR doing well today, guys. Of course, a diversified industrial that I have been trying to trade a couple of times. Was looking for this to kind of keep going. And so there you guys see it. Nice little trade today, man. This thing trades well, guys. I need to keep this on my radar a little bit more because you can see these up moves and how well the down moves are really kind of symmetrical. That's a good outlook. So you can see how it pulls back to the trend line and gives you that opportunity. Not a bad look here. GE pulling back off that 162. We'll see what happens on that one. AMD, will it do that 157 test again? It did do it right there. Now I'm looking for it to kind of hold maybe a little quick down towards 157 really quickly. Then the recovery of 158. We'll see what happens on the day. Back to the day trade side of things. Let's go make some more money. GS bull flag. I don't mind it. I like Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley, we talked about Morgan Stanley just recently, and look at that prop action off of Monday's action. We were talking about this yesterday, how this is kind of holding in, and I like Morgan Stanley. Sometimes I traded it before. GS sometimes has these hourly pullbacks that wick me out, but it doesn't look too bad either. They run side by side. So it's just pick your flavor of ice cream, right? What do you like? All right, looking around, that Para went back down to the 1040, so glad I cut that one out. On keeps fighting this 37.22, so it could just finally break down, and we did get that cut towards the upside, so this is where I come in on, and I come heavy. Come heavy, guys. So I'm going to come heavy really quickly here and see what happens. All right, guys, trying to get heavy here. Boom, just shorted 1,000 shares there of on. And the reason why is that it's exactly kind of similar trade that I was looking at. Of course, maybe not the 30s, but came up there towards what, 37.30, right there on the top, right off that VWAP. So now I know slightly above VWAP, I can risk up here towards this kind of next layer. The next layer broke down right around here, around this 37.38s. Looking for this to come back towards 37 and maybe the 36.80s. Daily chart really needs to let go and starts to kind of come down towards the 35s and 36. Let's see if we get this fade off right back down. So this is the fade attempt look here. Let's see what happens, guys. All right, guys, you just got to keep a watch on this one. We'll see what happens on. Going to look around to see what else is going on. Tesla is definitely one to keep a watch. Goldman Sachs on that pullback actually doesn't look too bad. We'll see what happens on there. Zap still doing well. RDZN, there's Zap through 3. That's a good level. AMD holding in right now. We'll see if this starts to climb again. There's the wick down towards the 157.10. That's the layer that I'd maybe try to bet off of. So now I'd like this 157, this AMD look to maybe go back into the name. It's trying to hold that look. Right now it's pulling back a little bit. Doesn't look too bad, man, to maybe take a little bit of a shot on AMD today. If I did take it, I'd take it with like, about a $30 or $40 risk here. It did be about 100 shares here on the pullback here. We'll see what happens. Let me just take a look at it really quickly. AMD pullback, it would be like kind of right around this layer. And then you'd have to risk off that 157. There's that cut down. There's the attempt there. That's the look that I could maybe take the shot off the 157. I just don't trust AMD today, man, especially after it wiped me out yesterday. Maybe it's a slight hesitation move here. Doesn't look too bad there. It did give that attempt to bottom out there. We'll see what happens there on AMD. So you can see here on the 5-minute, you could still get that wick down, and that's the problem. The time frames don't match up right now for me. The 15-minute low there, you can use that low here for a pullback off 156.80s. but you could always hit that 156.80s again. So I'll keep a watch on this. We'll see what happens on AMD today. On, let's see if this can really start to break down back through this 37.20s, looking for this to start to cut down towards the 37. If I could even just get that 37, I don't mind just taking the quick trade, maybe not looking for all the way the complete breakdown. That hasn't worked for me in the past, at least recently. So I'll take the quick trade and then take the money off. I got no problem with that. All right, thing NVIDIA, man. NVIDIA would have been a good short too. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. The short went back there to the 123s. It's right back towards the 121s. Google, look at that, man. Google back up, guys. That wasn't a bad Google trade at all. It didn't go back to my entry. I was quick on it, but hey, that's not a bad one there. Now that Amazon's starting to turn back here, we talked about how maybe there's some buying pressure off of that 196, looking for the recovery through the 197 today. Doesn't look too bad. And Apple up there to the 219s. So big move up in the overall market. Now this 230, 231 almost showing up there in Tesla. What an absolute monster, man. This could pull back fast there. So that's one thing that I do want to mention there, that you could see a quick pullback in Tesla. So just be careful out there, guys. It's been a quick climb. It's held the 90 EMA multiple times and tried to break that 90 EMA, but hasn't broken it. Now starting to slow down a little bit on the 5. All right, guys, I'm looking for this on to start really breaking down. You got to go focus on this because it's a bigger position for me. But definitely, guys, smash the like, guys. It's 10:38. We're going to keep going towards 11. You guys let me know. What do you guys like out there? Look at that on move. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Get it down there, man. Let's go. Let's get that break. Let's see if we can get down there to the 37s. Really would like to see that 37 kind of break there. Going to go ahead and put some order towards like 36.77. Put it far away from where I want to take profits, probably closer towards that 37. I'm looking for that click down towards 37.05, 37s. I can take majority of it off there, and then of course leave the remainder for that quick little move, right? So I'm getting ready to go ahead and take the profits there at the 37.06 layer. Don't want to rush towards the 36.16. Like it went to 37.010 right there. I'm looking for just slightly below that and taking majority of it off. Let's see if we can get that. Come on. Let's go. All right, guys, looking for that next layer takedown attempt here. AMD still hanging in there for that buy, but man, that's a tough name to see that action there. All right, looking around to see some other ones here. Palantir, 2632. Valero, how's those oil names doing? Still holding in there pretty well now. CEINX, the AA, Alcoa, aluminum names starting to pull back a little bit. What it's also leading, industrials, XLI, now starting to pull back a little bit. CAT, starting to pull back. VWAP look here for Caterpillar. If you guys like VWAP looks, you're getting that look off the daily. A lot of inverse head and shoulders on this CAT. This actually looks interesting. Big inverse head and shoulders on this today. So off the daily look, it definitely has the look there. And you can see here on the 1 minute, you just made the attempt to go back above the VWAP. Now can you reclaim and hold VWAP on a 5 minute? So in the next 5 minutes, I'd look for maybe that move. If it goes back towards the 330s, it's not a bad one to watch. All right, guys, on 37.10s here. About to go ahead and take a majority of it off here. I'm looking for one little cut down here. Then I can go ahead and take some off here. I'm putting in the order out there, 37.06. Got the order out there. Let's see if I can go ahead and take a little bit profits into this move and pay ourselves on. There's the move down towards 37.10s, 37.09s. Moving it down a little bit towards 37.02s, 37. Just trying to play with it a little bit here as it comes in between the mix here. Let's see if I can go ahead and get a little bit of a cut down here and just take some profits. I might just run towards the 37.10s right now, but I just want a little bit more cut down here. Let's see if I can get it. Not seeing that much cut down right now. It's kind of holding in there. I'm looking at the depth right now. The depth doesn't have much on both sides. So 37.03 seems to make sense for it to come down into. So I got no problem for that to happen. That's a cut down even through my 37.06. Let's see if I put 37.06, we get a quick little fill. Putting it out there, looking for another little cut down on this on. Go to the 1 minute and start seeing the look. Just looking for a little cut down towards this 37, and then it could bounce back towards 37.20. So I definitely want to be able to take a little bit off here. There's 37.06 there. I'm jumping up towards the 37.09. I'm going to go ahead and try to take some off here, guys. Boom, just took some off there, guys. Paid myself well. Took it off the 37.09s there. It could have keep going. Could keep going through the 37s. I'm not trying to be greedy today, guys. I'm just trying to take some trades here. And now at this point, I'm going to do stop, break even, 37.20s. Look for the continued breakdown towards the low, which would give me another $78, which is a 36.80s cut. And then I can just let this trade work, guys. That's what it's all about today. I'm battling, guys. I am walking with my money bag today. I am not giving it back. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Battling back today. Let's do it. All right, guys, you guys can see it. Not a bad day today. A battle of profits, at least up to 38. Going to continue to battle. Taking these quick little gains is what's giving me the profits, right? Going to continue to battle and taking bigger sizing, but quick in, quick out is the way that I'm approaching it. Doesn't look too bad here on for the continued breakdown. And another trade given to you guys on the playbook. That's what I'm all about. Money Mitch, guys. Smash the like. All right, let's keep it going, team. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see what we can find. AMD with that shake. You can see it, guys. That shake on AMD is no joke, guys. It's trying to shake. It just did a little bit of an up move. This was that 157.40 move that we were looking at right here. It's still holding in for the breakout back to the upside. I'm just not going to trade it, man. This is just a trap to me. It just looks trappy. What's up with Chewy? Did that thing come back yet, man? I think that this is eventually going to make a crazy roaring move back. So I'm just keeping an eye open for it to see when that trade could actually happen. Of course, we know that Roaring Kitty has a big position in this. So 24 seems to be like a layer that I'm starting to see some buying coming in through. You cut through here once, you cut through it again. Let's see if it goes to 24 again, one last time, and then starts making a move out of that bottom. But you can see here the hourly wicks are getting bought towards that 24. That's the layer that I think you're starting to see some traders look at. And what you get Chewy back above 24.70s. So pullbacks at 24.30s or 24s overall seem to make sense for me. I'm going to look for the pullback. I'll let you guys know what happens there in Chewy. All right, guys, smash the like. What are you guys looking at in the chat? It's about 10:44. Game has my eye. All right, keep it going, man. Laugh out loud. You're looking at everything. You're good. Wow. Future day trader. What do you mean, man? I try to look at everything all the time, but sometimes I'm going to be good. Sometimes I'm not, man, but I am looking everywhere, man. That's how it is. Do you have a set strategy or free balling? Well, not free balling, because free balling, guys might not want to look at my shorts then. Yeah, so I trade all around, man. I do have some strategies that I'm more consistent in, like let's say like a VWAP fade or VWAP break to the upside, right? The VWAP bounce. There's a lot of different trades that I do. I think what's important is you have multiple tools in your tool belt and not just trade one strategy, but it's up to you, really. What I think is important also is taking the trades that you're doing in a certain strategy and seeing how that's going and comparing it to another strategy and seeing how that's going, right? That's what it's all about, guys. Definitely take a look at that, guys. We'll see what happens out there. All right, guys, going to keep going, guys. Smash the like. We'll take a look at some other action here, looking to see what happens with on. It is getting a little bit of a bounce there, so glad I took some profits. I am seeing NVIDIA bounce there, so that could help the AMD bounce as you start to get that kind of move back up here towards the 158. We'll look to see if AMD just did another shake to the downside, and eventually the weekly candle still ends up green back up towards 166. That's one thing I'd look at AMD. I'd start taking a look at maybe a longer term swing trade. So that's the way I'm going to approach it here. And I have to go at it small. So let's go back to the swing trade side things. Going back to the swing trade, you'll see the account changeover right here at the bottom, guys. All right, so let's see if I can take the smallest size on AMD, the size that I got rid of yesterday. So I'm looking at this 157.80s. Could I wait for 156.80s? Yes, but I'm not going to be picky here. I'm just going to go ahead and get my 10 shares. Boom, got my 10 shares there, guys. Now I can hold off what? The low of the day. I can risk here way below the low of the day today. I can go towards 156, or even just look at the daily chart, right? Or the weekly chart and take a look at that, right? So that's a risk below daily lows. That's a risk towards like 152. So I'm going to take that risk to see if this is just a fake out, like kind of how Tesla did eventually, and then made a huge rip, right? So with that being said, if I'm risking 60, I need to make 3 times that amount at least. Up towards resistance is 174, so it's pretty close to a 3-to-1. Now I'm going to put this up there a little bit further. I'm going to put this up there towards like 190 and 200 right now, as I just let this trade work. But there it is, guys. I put it in on the swing trade for AMD. We'll see what happens on that, but it's only about a small risk on the downside right now, especially on the intraday. I'd want to see this kind of just rip back to the upside. So giving myself some room right now for it to work. And then later on, if I see it towards like 163, I'll tighten down towards the low of yesterday or today's action. XLE pulling back there. Now I got to go ahead and kind of watch this XLE, because I am in the green on this XLE, but I'm not going to let it go red, right? If I let it go red, that's just pushing it for no reason here on this XLE when we were up big, right? So I tighten it down. Now I have the risk right below it there. I'm risking only about $2, giving it the chance to come back a little bit, come back and recollect. But right now it's doing a little bit of a fake out move to the downside. You can see some of these oil names are actually holding in. So that's one thing that I noticed. But Chevron, remember, this was like a cut down that I was looking at, maybe it coming back. Look how it cut down. It was a fast cut down there. Palantir still hanging in off the 26.15. We'll look to see what happens on that one. And I'll see if Walmart takes the next layer to the downside. On, still holding in there. Let's keep it going, team. What other trades can I take a look at? Smash the like, guys. All right, looking around to see if I can find another trade there. It's Snowflake with the rejection. We talked about maybe a short on Snowflake, so that actually looked good. It went back to that layer and rejected it. So good layer to see that rejection. 142.50s upside, kind of coming back through it. This could fade back towards 141. So it's pretty much a one-to-one trade right now. So you have to understand that, but I could see this fading off. Doesn't look too bad there for that attempt there. I think on just stopped me out there. I'm looking at maybe a snow short here. And I like snow for the long term, right, to the upside, but it's already gone up pretty significant amount and now can take a little bit of a pullback into the gap zone. So that's what I'm looking at here. Doesn't look too bad here. I'm going to go ahead and try to take a shot here in just a second. So this is a little bit bigger stock, so I have to be careful with the spread. Spread's about 20 cents. Need to keep that in mind. So might have to come into it in 2 orders here, off the 147.07 and then maybe a little bit above. So I'm looking for the bid to come up a little bit. All right, guys, trying to cut my watch list to 2 stocks a day, says Future Day Trade Billionaire. Yeah, it's very difficult to watch the whole market. I'm able to do it here for overall market purposes. But a lot of times what I'll do is I'll nail down what stocks I'm really looking at and what stocks I want to come after. All right, let's take a look at CrowdStrike and those other names. How are those doing? PanW, that's still trying to come back there. We'll look to see if it fades off. But definitely some names that I'm looking at. Zscaler is starting to come back. CrowdStrike was the one that had the down rating today. We'll look to see if that fades right back down, or does it all of a sudden just get a pop to the upside and breaks out, right? So keeping that in mind, you're seeing CrowdStrike break to the upside right now. That's where you got to be careful, because the break to the upside could keep it going, right? If CrowdStrike really gets that lift there, well, I don't really want to be shorting here. So let's see what happens here on CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike's going to help me determine it, because the volume back is not big, but it could just be a little bit of a fake out to the upside. Looking around, AMD still chopping around that 157.90s. We'll see what happens on that one. I at least took the swing trade side of things to at least take a shot. All right, what's another one? Game, you've mentioned that one earlier. That one's still doing a decent amount there. Up is starting to turn back to the downside, and we'll see what happens there. And Zap also pulling back. All right, some alerts going off here for me. So I'm trying to look to see what just kind of gave me that alert. Let's see it here. Ooh, look at that. Snow right back down there. It's looking interesting there. CrowdStrike went up there to 384.55s. We'll look to see if it comes right back down. But man, this is a little bit trappy. Daily is right there on the 9. So you can see what CrowdStrike's trying to recover. It's trying to make a bullish move, even though it got a bearish rating. We'll see what happens. All right, then Snow rejecting that move. Now back towards the 142 spot. This is where I got to risk it if I want to take the biscuit off the 142.50s would be the risk there. So I'd have to understand that it's about 50 cents on the risk side of things, and then could come back towards the 141, which is about $1 on the plus side. So we're looking at a 2-to-1 outlook here. 2-to-1 outlook if I want to take this shot. So there's the cut down. There's the 142s. Trying to cut down through that. So the look's there. Now they just have to take it to the downside here. We'll see what happens here. It doesn't look too bad. Just want to see a little bit of a bounce here. If I can get just like the 142.15s, risk off the 37s, doesn't seem too bad there. CrowdStrike, what's up with that one? It's back up there, trying to hold the VWAP, trying to hold that break back to the upside. That's where it gets a little bit difficult because CrowdStrike looks positive. And then I can see that other one kind of breaking down. I can see Snow breaking down. I can see Zscaler just taking another hit down and really starting to break down. So Pan W is another way to maybe look at this. It's already been so strong. Now could finally turn back to the downside after yesterday's little pullback. There's support underneath it though. That's where it gets hard. You're fighting support. Snow right off of that 142. We'll see what happens if it starts to go red on the day. All right, on has pulled back there towards that layer of 37.20s. I got out of that one. SYT showing up on the scanners really quickly here. SYT, will it make that 3 run? Looks like it had a halt earlier. We'll see what happens with this one. Trying to make a run back towards 3. There's the break on Snow back towards the 141.80s, starting to cut down there. So maybe that was the trade, right? CrowdStrike kind of slowed me down there, but doesn't look too bad. All right, let's catch up with you guys in the chat. What's going on, guys? It's 10:54. In a second, we're going to start to wrap up. It's been a good day for me, a little bounce back day. Nothing big on the green, but taking some smaller trades and just in and out, making some money. That's what you got to do sometimes. You got to bounce back, and that's exactly what we did today. Tesla turned around off that 231.14, now back to the 228s. This could come right back up, so just be careful out there, traders, with Tesla. You know how she is. That dragon. CENX just continuing the climb today. So Alcoa, maybe that gets the lift back there towards 41. Definitely seeing aluminum strong today. So looking to see if this wants to make a move back towards 41. So let's take a look at the 15-minute. 15-minute has it pulling back here, slightly towards the VWAP. Support around the 40.22s. So just looking at this as to see what is going to happen here. Dogs are barking. Dogs are barking. Let's see if we can find the dogs in the market here. No, buy at 140, stop at 134 on the long outlook. Yeah, I think this could keep going on the longer outlook, but just something to watch right there. All right, let's see what other ones are making a move right now. I'm looking around to see AMC up a little bit there. Talked about how on yesterday I saw the CNK. I'm looking at CNK to see if that can continue to ride. IMAX is another one that's kind of looking for the upside action in this. Hasn't really made the move today, but it doesn't look too bad. And then AMC actually pushing a little bit. This is one I'd keep on the radar. I know that it's kind of going slow, but there's good news coming out of the movie theaters. You're seeing this actually have a decent day today. You know, who knows, man? Maybe if Chewy gets hot, AMC gets hot also, right? What happens if Gil lets you guys know that he has a position in AMC? I mean, holy crap. That would definitely move that. So we'll see what happens there. It doesn't look like a bad one to at least maybe take a little bit of a shot on a little earlier or later in the day. Game trying to continue to move. That's one that you talked about there. All right, team, it's about 10:56. It's time to do our recap and take a look. We've talked about some of the trades, but let's take a look at all the action. All right, traders, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some of these trading action and what were we in today that looks great here. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. I'm going to pull up the chart right next to it so you guys can see the action. Of course, we've talked about Tesla, but let's go towards the first one. This is an NVS trade, and it's back towards those levels. So I could take another trade on this, right? It's back actually above towards the 106.40s. Big level to watch to see if it recovers. The 106.55s and 106.50s doesn't look too bad. It shorted it out the gates, was able to get that first downside action, take the profits. It did go a little bit lower, but I wasn't trying to be greedy there. I took a quick little gain there, not a bad one, $74. Then took a little hit there on Para as it pulled back. But what did I do? I was adding, setting up. It didn't break out. I cut it on a small little loss, and that's what I'm talking about. $34 with 800 shares. You guys know that's not much at all. So it's setting up there for the big move, and it didn't go, so be it. Let it go. There goes Google. Google continuing now to 185. Look where I was longing. It didn't even come back to that layer. So maybe I need to stick more and more towards these high quality names. Wasn't a bad sell on the first move. Could have rebought it back at the 184. Look at that move to 185, looking good here. I've talked about how maybe Google ends up going to the 200. This is definitely an area that I'd be watching. Doesn't look too bad, especially for that 187 move, and not a bad move there in Google. Then, of course, on the short side of things, I've been trying to come after this one multiple times. Wasn't able to get the first downside action on the day, which could have been the better trade, right? But was able to take a little bit of a small time trade here. Short time frame, looking for that crackdown back below an important layer. Got that crackdown, was able to take majority of it off, pay myself. And as the stock comes back, what would I be? I'd be in the red, team. And so this is showing me more and more. I need to be taking bigger size trades with quick outs. Maybe a little bit after, maybe it's just 5 minutes after, something like that. Keeping into a time frame that can work for me. Maybe it's a 15-minute time clock. Some things like this can definitely help you. And like always, team, there's not one way to trade. And I don't have all the answers, but I'll tell you one thing. I battle, baby. I battle. That's the only way that you guys can keep coming after it and learning from your experience, taking notes, taking assessments, what's working. For me, today, what's working? Quick profits, right? Not going for the $300, $600 winner, going for a small risk, taking the profits as I get to the reward, and then running away. So now like this NVS, this actually looks interesting for me for it to come back down. So now I can take a look at this to go ahead and take another swing on this. So NVS is back up there towards the 106.50s. I'd like to see it go one more time here towards the 106.50s, double top there, and then really break down. 5 minutes. You can see here how there's kind of this double top. Let it try to go through it one more time. Wick, then come right back down. Doesn't look too bad. NVS, NVO, a lot of these. Lilly coming back, right? They could reject the 900 and then come right back down. So that's one layer that I'd be looking at. So you can see here sideways from Lilly. Boom. Comes back to that layer. Some people chase it right here. I hate chasing it right there. I look for this to triple top at that layer somewhere in this spot and then reject. But we'll see what happens there, and Eli Lilly and other healthcare names. All right, guys, smash the like if you guys enjoy all the action that I give you guys, the outlooks, different stocks and different things in the market. We need a big recap after 4 p.m. Well, it's always good to see mentions like that, right? We always want to hear mentions like that. If you guys are looking for things like that, we're all trying to keep going. We're all the Trade the Pool can share our ideas. Hey, you can always share your ideas here, Future Day Trade, or hit me up on Twitter. Send me a chart, especially with Trade the Pool charts. If you guys tag me at MoneyMitch_TTP with a chart from Trade the Pool, I will take my analysis on there and I will put it in writing right on your post. Hey, send it to me, tag Trade the Pool, and we will take a look at those trades even after hours. I always take a look at trading, guys. So send me those ideas, especially after 4 p.m. We'll talk about them in the morning I'll bring here some really high quality trades that you guys mentioned, of course, on Twitter or X, whichever way you want to call it. We'll see what happens there on Lily. Look at that, starting to bounce back. We'll see what happens on that type of trade. That's going to do it for me, guys. Definitely take a look at the swing trade side of things. I opened up another position, the AMD side of things. You guys can take a look at that. And we'll wrap up with this, right? The positions here on the swing trade side of things. AMD slightly in the green, Palantir big in the green, XLE slightly, so is Walmart. We'll keep battling with those and try to ride our winners, which is right now in Palantir. We'll see if this can keep running. Talked about 27 being an important level. Even this 26 is so important for Palantir now start holding, because if you look at the daily chart, what are you near? You're near daily resistance. The daily resistance right here held today to the key 2643. This closed at 26 or opened at 2644. So that's the resistance. I'll look to see if it breaks, to see if this wants to continue the momentum run. Tesla with the monster day. Got to give it to the Tesla traders. Tesla traders, look at that, guys. Definitely a little pat on the back. And where do you get those types of trades? None other than right here on Trade the Pool, guys. So I'll see you guys back in the morning. Like always, keep battling. Pinkies on up, traders. It's only one way, baby. Gotta, what? Stock and trade, baby. Be that stock star. Keep getting after it. You guys know where you're at. Trade the Pool. We'll see you back in the morning, team. Keep getting after it.